Today on Dr. Phil, her ex blames her for their son's death.
You killed the boy.
And I got acquitted on all counts.
What happened that night?
She bought him beer, vodka.
Did you ever buy alcohol with Brandon?
No.
Was your son drinking that night?
I didn't think he was drinking.
He was standing with a drink in his hand, and you didn't think he was drinking?
Heather took way too much medication. You were sitting with my son and you fell on his lap. You were unresponsive. I pounded on your chest.
I'm done with you.
Once you realize that you have a problem.
I need you. I don't need you.
Are you on medication?
Minimal.
Because you're slurring your words. She threw a temper tantrum in the hotel room.
Am I gonna get my word to talk? This is my story. You don't know your information like you think you do.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Both of you, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Well, my first guest, Heather, initially found herself in the headlines back in 1999 when she was involved in a deadly car crash that killed her fiancé, a wealthy Connecticut businessman named Neil Esposito. Now, prosecutors charged Heather with second-degree manslaughter because they claimed she was behind the wheel of the car as it reportedly traveled 120 miles an hour, throwing her fiancé out of the vehicle. In 2004, she went on trial for his death, but her defense attorney argued what was later dubbed the Lewinsky defense. He claimed Heather may have been performing a sex act since Neil Esposito's body was found with his pants down. Now, Heather was eventually acquitted, but just 4 years later, Heather found her name plastered across the headlines again. This time, it hit much closer to home. It was her son, Brandon, that tragically died 5 years ago. Heather's ex-husband, Brian, says he believes 100% that she is guilty for that child's death.
My ex-wife, Heather, is delusional. Heather believes that she had nothing to do with my son Brandon's death, and she had everything to do with his death. The night that Brandon passed away, I wasn't there. So what I know is Brandon asked Heather to buy him alcohol. She obliged. She bought him beer. She bought him vodka. She picked up one of his friends, Chris. She brought him back to the house. At 12 o'clock, Chris passes out. So Brandon still wants to continue to drink, so he calls his friend Travis, who lives down the road. He goes and tells Heather, I'm gonna go pick up Travis. He grabs her keys, she allows it, comes back, drinks some more, goes into her room, takes her morphine tablets, he crushes them up, they snort them up their nose, and they continue to drink. Travis decides he wants to go home. Heather comes out in her own testimony and says Brandon was too drunk to drive, he was belligerent, he was falling into the walls. She drives Travis home. She comes back. Brandon is fading in the back seat as if he wants to sleep, so she comes inside to get him a pillow and a blanket. And when she comes inside, and this is the most important part, a 15-year-old, Chris points out to her that Brandon has consumed a large amount of alcohol. And he points to the prescription medication and he says, I think we should take him to the hospital. I'm sure Heather quickly thought to herself, boy, if I take him to the hospital, I'm gonna be in big trouble because I supplied this stuff for them. So instead of, she decides to grab a pillow blanket and go check on him every once in a while, but doesn't go ever check on him. Brandon ended up dying sometime in the early morning hours between 9 and 10 o'clock. Heather never called 911. She called me first. She was hysterical, and she said, I killed my baby, I killed my baby. That's what she was screaming on the phone. What kind of animal is she? She's a monster.
But Heather says there was no way she could have saved Brandon, and she wants her ex-husband to stop pointing the finger at her.
The night Brandon went to heaven, it was a Saturday before he was starting to start up school again. I said, Mommy's gotta go to bed early, you gotta be a good boy, etc., etc. And he agreed to it. I had no idea. I know the place was a mess, and I did see them trying to drink. And I grabbed it from them and I put it down the drain. And then I ended up falling asleep. Next thing, Brandon came in and started, trying to get aspirin over my head. And then the third time, there was this kid standing there, and apparently Brandon took my rental car, went down the street and picked him up. His name was Travis. I did not know that they were snorting up their nose, straight into their brain, my medication that was prescribed to me. I brought Travis home. By the time I got back, he was like laid down and he was almost asleep in the car. He had a shot of vodka, before that. Nothing to be major, like not to bring him to the hospital or anything. I was actually, oh good, he's sleeping. I gave him a pillow and a blanket and gave him a kiss goodnight. He said goodnight, my baby, and I didn't know that was the last time. Woke up, he was unresponsive in the car. And that's when I started screaming, my baby's dead.
Okay. First off, I have to say, whatever happened here, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I mean, what
Thank
a
you.
terrible thing. One thing you won't hear me say today is I know how you feel.
No, should you?
If you haven't buried a child, you just can't imagine. You believe she's responsible for his death?
Not just me. Department of Children and Family Services, the police, the judges in the civil case, they all think she's guilty, yes.
But she was charged criminally as well.
Yes, sir.
For manslaughter, and she was acquitted.
Yes, sir.
Why is that? If she's guilty of his death, why was she acquitted?
Yes, Brian, why?
Well, the difference in when you go into court is the judge didn't allow all the information. You'll see today that there's some other kids that are here to testify against her that the judge didn't allow. The judge said that he wanted to have all the information from the summer of '08, and he didn't think that the information prior to that time was pertinent.
Including all your DCF packet of your abuse, Brian, was not allowed in.
Okay.
And you were always seen as the victim.
Okay.
That is not right, because you hurt him terribly. He was
But I
in
didn't kill
horrible
him.
depression.
I didn't kill
You're
him.
the one who should have taken care of him. I was too sick. I am not sick anymore. I am not on all those medications. I went through that gallbladder
then
surgery.
admit that you killed him and move
never
forward.
had him. You put him in my care. You should have been responsible, not me. My mother and father were taking care of me. You were supposed to know where Brandon was. Shame on you, Brian.
And did you had custody at the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he was staying with Heather for part of the summer,
Yes, sir.
which was in
Why is
excess
that?
of the
Why is
custody
that? 'Cause
agreement.
your abuse.
Yes, sir.
And why
Black
was he
eye,
staying
broken
with her?
nose.
I'm sorry?
Why was he staying with her?
Well, he was a great kid up until 13, 14. He started having some problems. And
Once
coincidentally,
Snotty died.
those problems were stemming from Heather giving them alcohol and drugs at the time. So what happened, I had rules. You had to go to school, you had to get up, you had to do your homework, all those types of things. And so Brandon would come to me and say, I want to go to mommy's, I want to go to mommy's, I want to go to mommy's. So, because he wanted to help take care of her. She wasn't well, but she certainly was cognizant, she functioned, she went to the grocery shop, she did all the things she's supposed to be doing.
Okay, I'm just asking you
Well,
why he was there. Did you tell him, okay, go stay with your mother so you can see what a loser she is?
I did.
You said that to him.
I did.
Why would a father say that to a child? And if you knew she was sick, if you knew she was on drugs or whatever your theory might be at the time, why would you, the custodial parent, consciously put him with someone that you felt was inadequate to take care of him? This happened on your watch.
Well, there's a difference between...
You're the custodial parent.
Correct. And there's a difference between being inadequate and being a loser. My gamble with Brandon was I wanted him to see... This woman sleeps till 3 in the afternoon.
And you knew that?
Because
That's correct.
I was
But
sick.
there's a difference,
I've
Dr.
had
Phil,
80
between...
surgeries.
Okay.
How can you...
All right, hold on a minute. But I
There's
just
a
want
difference
to be sure that I'm
Lying.
clear
I
about
can't-
this, because look, as
all he's doing is lying.
Dr.
from
Phil.
the standpoint of a forensic psychology perspective,
Sure.
I always, when I worked in that role in the court system, I was evaluating parental judgment, problem solving, what kind of environment they were providing, what kind of supervision they were providing. And you're telling me as a custodial parent, you've got a woman over here sleeping till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and having problems, and you consciously send your son there?
Well, there's a difference between, if you asked me at that time with the events of this night, which are very, very troublesome, obviously, was this woman capable of not handling Brandon or taking care of him? That's different than showing a lifestyle of someone that is, like I said, a loser. You're talking about two different things. Did I think she would ever do what she did? Did I think that she was capable of
Brian, you not only
of
called
killing
me
her
a
son,
loser,
of
you
killing
have
the son?
called my whole family dumb as
Okay.
rocks.
All right, hold on.
I understand what you're saying, and I have 4 children now. I do have. My
Okay,
wife.
I just wanted to see
so
if I understood it
understand.
correctly,
I understand.
you're making a distinction without a difference, in my opinion, because if you're the custodial parent, it's your responsibility to make sure he's in the right environment, and you put him in that environment. I just wanted to be sure we were clear on that.
Let's be clear. I had no knowledge that she was giving anyone alcohol and drugs at any time prior to this. No, I did not
Where'd
think
you think
that.
he was getting them?
I didn't know he was. Well, besides that, maybe school. I don't.
Well, you said that
Heather and I actually. Heather and I worked at this together. We worked together to get him help. We went to counseling together. We put him in Natchog Hospital.
Well, you're going to get a chance to say it. No, you're going to get a chance to say it.
He went to a psychologist after you broke his nose, and they gave him medication. You told him you don't need that, so he couldn't sleep. That put him in horrible depression. On your clock, Brian, not on mine. Shame on you.
You killed the boy. You got arrested for it, and you got DCF said it,
and I got acquitted on
all
all counts, Brian.
Okay.
Because you went on TV.
So he killed himself.
Went in the
Did he kill
paper.
himself? Did he kill himself?
Defamation.
Oh, he did?
He must
Did I
have.
kill him?
You
was I
did.
there that night?
You
Was
put
I
in-
there? I was there, right? I was there?
You were there many
okay.
times.
I was there that night when he died.
So-and-so?
Okay.
You
All right,
know.
stop,
Okay.
stop. By our math of your reports and the others that were there, your son consumed approximately 22 beers, 4 or 5 shots of vodka, took 3 morphine tablets, and sniffed 4 rails of morphine. You said you wanted to talk. This is your chance. And later,
we've been friends for 25 years. And last night, what you did to me and my 11-year-old son is unforgivable, Heather. You were absolutely lifeless, Heather. I thought you were dead.
did you strike the boy in the face?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you struck the boy in the face.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you were physically abusing him.
No, absolutely not.
How
Okay.
can you say that?
Was this
Because
he came with black eyes all
He didn't
over
come
me.
with a. Okay, listen.
He said,
I
Mommy,
walked in.
take a picture.
Dr. Phil, you have
Okay.
to give me an opportunity here.
No, I've given you an opportunity.
All you're
and
doing is talking.
you need to stop
I'm sorry,
talking.
I'm sorry. I'm very upset.
You're going to get a chance. Seriously, you're going to get a chance. You're going to get a chance. You just stop talking. I want to see what we can agree on here.
Okay, you're asking if I'm a custodial
you have to
parent.
be, you talk about people who are coming here to testify. This isn't a court, but you will help yourself if you will be responsive to my questions.
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to get a few things clear.
Yes, I understand.
This child died on your watch. You were the custodial parent. That's a yes or no. It's not an essay.
No.
Okay, you were not the custodial parent. Then I've got wrong information.
Custody means who he was with. He was with her. Custodial, he was with her. Were
put
you
him
incapable
in
of taking care of Brandon?
Yes, I was.
Did you ever say that to me? Did you ever say that to me?
He came to
Did you
my
ever say-
door. You packed his. You
So
told
what
Okay,
him
is
to
listen,
pack
you
his
two,
bag.
listen, stop. You two
My
don't,
mother picked-
you two don't need me here to bicker back and forth.
I'm sorry. I just can't deal
And
with his
I don't
allegations.
think
They're
you're
all
wanting
wrong.
to have a genuine conversation here, because if you're wanting to play semantics with me on what custodial means, you're picking the wrong fight.
Okay, so we had joint custody. I had primary residency. And let me finish this. If I thought that my ex-wife was capable of what she did that night, if I thought that she was that bad, I never would have sent him to the house.
Didn't say you did. You
Okay.
have no idea where I'm going. We're just not there
Okay.
yet because you want to filibuster.
I'm sorry.
I want to talk about what happened that night. You said you wanted to talk. This is your chance.
Thank you.
Did you or did you not buy these minors alcohol?
No, I did not, Dr. Phil.
You did not. You understand that by our math of your reports and the others that were there, that your son consumed approximately 22 beers, 4 or 5 shots of vodka, took 3 morphine tablets, and sniffed 4 rails of morphine.
That's the allegations, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what people that were there say. Now, do you dispute that?
I do.
What do you dispute, the count, or do you dispute?
No, I don't know how much.
Was
they
your son
consumed.
drinking that night?
I walked out and I assumed he was because he had a vodka. He had one of those shots of vodka in his hand. And I took it away from him and I dumped it. I don't know where the vodka came from. I don't know where he got the beer. All of the kids that allege that I bought this alcohol the day of, the day before, day after, never was I seen anywhere buying alcohol. I don't drink. I don't know where they got the alcohol, but it is a little kind of fishy that up the street is a package store that put it up for the sale after I got arrested. So maybe that's where they got it. I don't know. They used my house as a party house when we were building it when he was in his care. He didn't even know where he was.
Are you telling me that you knew your son was drinking that night?
I didn't think he was drinking. I thought
you walked into the kitchen and he was standing with a drink in his hand, and you didn't think he was drinking?
Well, maybe I didn't think that it was enough to take him. Maybe.
Come on, I didn't ask you if you thought it was enough to take him to the hospital. I asked you if you knew that your minor son was imbibing alcohol in your home under your supervision. That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
It's not an essay, it's a yes or no question. Okay? So you knew he was drinking. You didn't know he was taking the other drugs, but you knew he was drinking.
I assumed he had something, yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you on medication now?
Minimal.
Because you're slurring your words. I'm just telling you, you're slurring your words as you talk. So
I have brain injury, Dr. Phil.
Okay, well, explain that. That's why I want you to have a chance to explain this. Mm-hmm.
So these things that happened to me, even the accident that happened, has been completely erased from my mind. I have bits and pieces in my head, but even that day of Brandon's death is very vague. I do remember my mom and dad getting there and rocking and saying, my baby's dead, my baby's dead, while he was punching the police out.
Okay, so you knew that your son was drinking that night, and he's underage, and you knew that. Why was that okay with you?
It wasn't okay with me. I never said it was okay.
What did you do about it? When you found him drinking,
I took Travis home. I poured the vodka down the drain. You know, you got to keep in mind, Dr. Phil, I should not have even been in that situation because
I didn't ask you if you should or shouldn't. You were. I'm just asking you what you did. I'm just asking you what you did once you were in the situation.
I was
you two
too
want to
sick.
talk about things that I'm not
even
asking
been in that situation.
because you don't like my questions. But I'm asking you, did you know that this child was drinking in your house under your supervision that night? And you said yes.
It's not illegal to have alcohol in your house.
I didn't ask you for an interpretation of the law. I asked you if you knew your minor son was drinking in your house that night, and you said yes.
Yes, I did, but I did not think that he had to go to the hospital. I did not think he was at that point.
I didn't. Okay, I'm not saying you did. I'm just trying to get to some facts here.
I mean, you got to understand. This is my life here, that he's gone on television. I mean, I have been in the news for the last 10 years and have had 80 surgeries. So if I'm slurring a little bit, I may be a little nervous, Dr. Phil. I'm in front of all these people in the whole world trying to tell everybody about his abuse to my child that put him in depression when he should have gotten help for him when I was too sick.
You don't remember because you don't choose to remember.
Heather,
you said this.
Maybe possibly.
Heather,
I don't know.
Possibly.
Heather, over here.
I'm not going to talk to him.
Well, I'm trying to get you to talk to me. And later.
Am I going to get my word to talk here? It's my story. I came here. I know people are giggling, but nobody has lived my life.
They're not laughing because it's funny. They're laughing because it is ridiculous. Go ahead. Did you know that your son was drinking beer that night?
No.
Did you know his friends were drinking beer?
No.
Because by count, we're talking between a case and two cases of beer. where was it all going? Where were the empties? Where were the bottles? Where was that all happening?
A typical 15, 16-year-old, we've all been there, lie. They lie to do what they want to do.
Beer cans were on the counter in front of you, all of them. There's a picture
They were
of
in front of
those.
me?
Yeah.
Was there a picture with me in front of the counter?
You had to walk right by them to get to your car. As a matter of fact, then you come back and you say to the policeman, I knew he was drinking and I knew that he did lines of morphine. I have the quote if you'd like to.
I did not say that. I did not
Here's
say
what
that.
it says. These are your words.
I would never have said
Here's
that,
what
Brian.
it says. Brandon then got
What is this
confrontation
song
with
you
me
wrote up?
and started, these are your words. And Detective Abosi, arrest warrant application, Heather states. Brandon then got confrontation with me and started shoving me. He was very out of it. He could barely walk. I thought maybe he had too much beer. When I first got home from dropping off Travis and leaving Brandon in the car, I went in the house and started to clean up the mess. There was spilled beer on the counter and I found that he had ground up some of my morphine. There was powder left and I did find about 5 morphine pills that I could salvage. I put them back in the container. Those are your words. Those are your words.
I did not say that, Brian.
This is
that
an
is
arrest
allegation.
warrant
No.
signed by you, signed by the cop. These are your words. I just read
Daniel
them.
Bavosi got up on that stand and did not say anything like that.
You want us to get the arrest warrant? I have it.
Okay.
So does
wait
Dr.
a minute.
Phil. Those are your words. You don't remember because you don't choose to remember.
Heather,
you said this.
May possibly.
Heather,
I don't know.
Possibly.
Heather, over here. I'm trying to figure out what was going on that night so I have some sense of what you know. And in that, I have examined the police reports. Mm-hmm. There are statements that you signed.
Under Hugh, when they told me Brandon had gone.
And you changed your story when you were talking to us, when we were asking you questions about what happened that night.
It's confusing.
It's what you told
to
the producers and what you told the police. There are clear contradictions there that caused me a problem.
I know that they were drinking, but I didn't think, any of them were
You
that
didn't think.
out of it.
That's the problem. And he died because you didn't think.
I have brain injury, Brian. I should not have been in that situation.
But you're cognizant enough to make this statement and function and be there.
No, because that was taken. They
Accept the
gave me a shoe of
and move
Ativan,
forward.
and
Accept the responsibility.
When I was told at the hospital, Brandon was gone, I passed out on the floor. They gave me a huge shot.
This is after the fact.
No. Detective Bavosi came in after I got that show in front of my mother. Okay. And my mother said that I did not say any of that stuff.
So she was a ventriloquist and she had her hand behind you and you were just doing the words. Those were your words or her words? Because they were your words.
I'm not going to talk to him. Because
well, I'm trying to get you to talk to me. I keep trying to get you to talk to me and you want to argue with him.
I don't want to argue. I want him gone. I want him gone out of my life.
Okay,
but he has ruined my life going in these. Okay, go ahead.
I ruined yours?
Then talk to me.
Yes, you have. I am a mother that lost a child
I thought you didn't want to talk
too.
to him.
I'm sorry.
I thought you wanted to talk to me.
His face, he just.
Last night, Heather took 39 narcotics. You were lifeless, Heather, and I pounded on your chest. Your eyes rolled in the back of your head, and then your mouth fell open. You were unresponsive for 3 minutes.
And later, next week.
That was my child, Brian.
You killed our son. Admit it. Admit it. You're a drug addict, and you killed our son.
You're here because you want to get this story out, correct?
I want my life to go on, and what has happened to me.
Do you think your behavior is sincere and consistent?
Absolutely.
Because I have a card here of your behavior prior to the show, according to your friend Bernice. Thank you for being here. She said when it came time to come to the show, you demanded first-class flights to LA, and you lied to the Dr. Phil staff and said that you were promised first class and that you cursed out the airline staff and the hotel staff. Is that true?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I cursed out the airlines?
Right.
No, I did not.
And
they did tell
the hotel
me
staff.
because of my
hip replacement and all of my metal in me that I was going to be put. The only reason why we got put in coach is because we missed the first flight. Because
did you say to Bernice, quote, I'm going to be a star now. It's all about Heather. The world revolves around Heather.
No, I would never have said that.
Did she say that to you?
We've been friends for 25 years.
You can't support her by enabling her. I'm asking you if she said that.
Absolutely.
Is she lying?
Heather, you embarrassed me the whole time we were here. And last night, what you did to me and my 11-year-old son is unforgivable, Heather.
And what happened?
Heather took way too much medication. She took 39 narcotics within 20 hours from when we left to go to the airport at 12 o'clock in the afternoon until last evening when she was so bad at the mall, she was falling over. My son was trying to hold on to her, my 11-year-old son. You were so bad, Heather. You were so incoherent. You had no clue what was going on. You were clueless, Heather. We got into the taxi, and I know you don't remember this. You were sitting in the back seat
I know.
with my son, Heather, and you fell on his lap. The taxi driver pulled over on the side of the road, Heather. My 11-year-old son is so scared because he thought you were dead, Heather. You were absolutely lifeless, Heather. I thought you were dead.
And
because what I did to save your life, Heather.
I wish I had died.
What I did to save your life, Heather, you don't remember. You were unresponsive for 3 minutes. And I sat back there, Heather, and I pounded on your chest. I pounded so hard that you probably have bruises. I slapped you across the face. It was a slap, a slap, a slap. Your eyes rolled in the back of your head. You started seizing, and then your mouth fell open. My son had to witness all this, Heather, my 11-year-old son. The taxi driver drove her to the hospital, and they had to get her out of the car. She was completely lifeless, completely lifeless. She had to get out of they had to carry her out of the car, and then all of a sudden she started coming to, and she's like, what's going on? Oh, I'm just tired. It's Bernice's fault because she pushed me to go to the mall. Now, we were at the mall for 2 hours, but she failed to let the staff know that she sat for 45 minutes getting her fingernails done. And she ran store to store to store to have a personal shopper pick an outfit out for her. I was so scared, Heather. I cannot believe you did this to me.
You counted her pills before you left Connecticut.
I did.
And then you counted them here. That's how you know how many were gone.
Absolutely.
Before all of this even happened, she threw a temper tantrum in the hotel room
talking
to my staff and threw your phone.
She threw my phone.
I did not. I did not throw the phone.
She was so, not last night, the night before.
Am I going to get my word of talking? It's my story. I came here.
Go ahead.
I asked you for help.
She was so drugged up, Dr. Phil, the night before. I had taken her pills, and I was holding on to her pills. And this is where she came, I guess, snuck all the pills because I was trying to hold on to them. And when I walked into the hotel room after being downstairs, I walked into the hotel room, and my whole entire purse was thrown all over the floor. And my son walked in and said, Mom, what happened? She was down on her hands and knees trying to search for her bottles of pills. And not just one bottle of pill.
Okay, you wanted to speak? The floor is yours.
Yes, I do. I don't even know what to say about this whole situation. I know people are giggling, but nobody has lived my life.
They're not laughing because it's funny. They're laughing because it is ridiculous. Go ahead.
What is ridiculous?
What is ridiculous? You asked me a question. You asked me a question, and the way this works is you ask a question, I get to answer. You said, what is ridiculous? You have a friend here.
And I would never do this, but she needs help, Dr. Phil.
You have a friend here that cares enough about you to tell the truth. And you fail to acknowledge that.
I'm going to sit here and have you say that to me because that is not true.
I'm telling you what his...
You're telling you what you think in your opinion because you don't know your information like you think you do.
The floor now is yours again.
Okay. After my son died, I wanted to die with him. That is correct. I was on 160 milligrams of morphine because to wean off of OxyContin is a horrible wean. And it doesn't wean, or even fentanyl patches. It goes from 100 to 75. It's too much of a jump for me. I did not want to go on morphine because that's what my son died from, because he learned it from his father to snort up his nose. Because his father, one time, Brandon came to me and said both him and his wife accused him of stealing a bag of cocaine. That's well known. So with that being known, back to me.
Heather, you could have refused
no.
doctor
It's my turn. It's my turn.
You could have told your doctor, I don't want morphine. My son died.
I told her that.
You did not, Heather. If you told her that, she wouldn't be giving you morphine.
With her?
She wouldn't be giving you morphine. I almost lost my best friend last night.
My doctor testified in the trial. Do we have those documents?
We're talking about last night.
Last night, Heather, you died on me. I believe you
Heather,
stopped breathing.
I went in the I should have brought the records. They found something that's twisted in my stomach. They found 3 more kidney stones in my left.
No, they did not.
It says right there. Did you not read it?
Heather, I was in contact with the doctors all night.
I'm done with you.
I know you're going to hate me, Heather.
My mom and dad told me about you.
I know you're going to hate me, Heather, and I'm okay with that. Because once you realize that you have a problem,
I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. All I want is Dr. Phil. I'm here
for you.
Because everybody has tried to ruin my reputation, including this. Colby, her child, I mean, she fought for her child. She actually made me lie to get him on the plane. And I didn't think any children should even be here. Period. End of discussion. She's the one who pushed that. She pushed that, not me. Okay. I did not want a child to be here. I wanted to call you. I'm the one who called you with help because he took a website to bash me. Everybody hated me. I can't even go out. I don't even want to go out of the house now because people point their fingers at me. I want to see how, because I was acquitted of both charges in a court of law. DCF has their own rules. Obviously, we have a packet this thick worth of his abuse to my child, which put him in depression, which made him self-medicate, which I brought him to his doctor many, many times. They told him, Brandon, before I know you have sleeping problems, you know, I took him to a sleeping doctor. They said, before you start self-medicating, please tell me. I took him over and over again. He did not. He was never around.
By the way, if it helps you to understand, I don't endorse all of his parenting decisions, and he has been very forthcoming with us about the fact that he didn't always make the best decisions and choices as a father, correct?
Yes, sir.
He's been very forthcoming about that. He's not proud of all the choices that he made. But what he's trying to get to the bottom of...
I'm forthcoming in saying that I was very sick and I had no business even. That's why I gave him to Brian.
What he seems to be focused on now is that you allowed your son to abuse drugs and alcohol.
No, I did not.
With your full knowledge, and you came back and left him in the back seat of the car.
I am not going to sit here and have you say that to me because that is not true.
I'm telling you what his...
You're telling you what you think in your opinion. Just like Cyril Wett, when you brought him on, he was indicted in 85 counts. That's why I called into your show, because you don't know your information like you think you do. Dr. Henry Lee and Cyril Webb both were testifying against me. You brought 2 kids and you said, oh, well, they have, they're on a high horse, when they're not. I had to settle because Cyril Webb got indicted in 85 counts. Look it up.
As I was saying, As I was saying, he is very upset that you left your son in the back seat knowing that he had been drinking and knowing after you came into the house that Chris pointed out to you that he had gotten pills out of your purse. He came back in a second time. He did get your purse this time.
You're telling me things that aren't true, that have been proven in court that are not true.
No, that's not right. These things have not been proven.
Why aren't I in jail then? If I am such an awful person and I killed my son, shouldn't I be squirreled away in jail somewhere?
I don't think.
This was a mistake on my part to allow him to go to her house.
Clearly.
That was my child, Brian.
Then you should have called. You shouldn't allow them to be doing it. You killed our son.
First off, I don't think you're an awful person. I think you have made some awful judgments. I think you have made some awful decisions. And I think you are addicted to prescription medication.
Absolutely.
And I think it has changed. And I think that it has changed the way you think, reason, and recall what's going on in your life. And that's what I believe. Look at me. I don't believe you're a horrible person. I believe that you are out of control. And I believe it was a very close call last night whether they allowed you to leave the hospital or not. And I think what he is saying is that he cannot get closure. He cannot heal the wounds that he feels for a variety of reasons, one of which is the fact that you won't own the fact that you did not behave in a responsible fashion when you had your son with you.
Dr. Phil, we shared custody of Brandon for 15 years. So when you ask about why did I allow him to go with her, she had him often throughout the years. There was nothing, and you're right. It was a mistake on my part. Obviously, this was a mistake on my part.
Okay, hold on.
This was a mistake on my part to allow him to go to her house.
Clearly.
It wasn't the first time. He had been with her for 15 years. So off and on, but I mean, so you're right. I said, in the end, I'm going to beat myself up about it because I allowed him to be with her. But it wasn't like he was never with her, and then all of a sudden one day I just said, go with Heather and we'll see how this goes. We were raising him throughout the years.
I don't think you foresaw. I don't think you foresaw what was going to happen, and I don't think she intended to do harm to her son.
Brian,
I do not
the last
believe either way.
words was, I hate my father.
How do you even come
I
to that
hate my father.
You can never convince me that that's what this woman wanted.
But it was self-preservation. She knew she was going to get in trouble. The next day she has Chris take all the beer cans and throw them over the stone wall. The first thing she does is implicates him to take the beer cans and get rid of the evidence. It's in the reports.
What reports? Who was there?
Pictures taken.
Kids, children?
You asked this 15-year-old to get rid of evidence when he just saw his best friend dead in the backseat of a car.
It was my child, Brian.
Then you should have called. You shouldn't allow them to be doing. You killed
called.
our son. Admit it.
Admit
it. You're a drug addict,
and
you killed our son.
You did. You're the one who put him in
go
depression.
To rehab and move forward.
I am off almost all medication. Oh. I really am.
Heather, you're on at least 30 to 40 prescriptions.
That's because of this trip I took. Normally, if I was in Connecticut on my couch with my dog, I don't need to take all this stuff. But if I'm in the plane and my hip hurts and everything else, I have to take more medication.
Parents,
it's as needed. It's prescribed.
Heather, how many pills did you take this morning?
You were,
and where
I
you
don't
send
know.
those children, be
Two
careful.
maybe to get up? Two? I don't know.
All right, we're going to take a break and let everybody settle down. We'll be right back. Well, we are out of time today, and I have so much more that I need to cover. Tomorrow, we'll hear from Brandon's friends, some of whom were there the night he passed away. They make shocking accusations against Heather. Could she have saved her son's life? Take a look.
Tomorrow.
I do feel that Heather killed Brandon.
I did not kill him.
The drugs.
You said you showed Heather the crushed pills that Brandon took from her purse.
Yes.
He did not show me that.
The alcohol.
I showed her everything on the counter, beer cans, the vodka bottle.
I didn't see any beer cans.
The accusations.
I was 15. I woke up to Heather being on top of me.
Did you have relations with AJ?
No, I did not.
With Mark?
Oh my God. That's ludicrous. He's the one who's buying all these people off.
Now.
I believe you have an addiction problem. I think you were high that night.
This is just not what I came on this show for.
The dramatic conclusion.
If you don't get yourself straightened out, we're going to be burying you.
That's tomorrow.
I want to thank all of my guests, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This program contains strong sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on Dr. Phil.
In 45 years, this is a first for me.
A story
Something happened. I know something happened.
that defies belief.
I believe that Dan sexually molested our daughter.
Did you or did you not molest your daughter?
100% did not.
I was only going on what my daughter was telling me.
Is it possible you weren't hearing that clearly?
This family drama
What better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
is far from over.
I have no reason to lie.
I don't buy it, lady.
And
I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying about what.
both parents
Did you ever have sexual contact with Alexis?
take a polygraph.
Let's look at the results. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday we met Gina and her husband Mike, who claimed their daughter Alexis was kidnapped in the middle of the night by her survivalist boyfriend David. But David says Gina is the reason Alexis left home. Take a look at what happened yesterday.
I believe that David kidnapped Alexis. David is a survivalist. I've seen pictures of David with machine guns, machetes.
My mom claims that David's the controlling one, but really she's the controlling one. I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
Is she just making a huge mistake here?
Absolutely. He's dangerous, Alexis.
Are you like a rope in a tug-of-war here?
Yeah, I feel like it.
This is our relationship, not theirs.
Did you kidnap her?
No, not at all. She's the one that asked me to come get her.
You said he kidnapped her.
Physically, she chose to go.
Then that's not kidnapping. I'm trying to find out whether you are an overreactive, histrionic mother, or if your daughter was kidnapped and we have the sumbitch here and need to throw the cuffs on him. Because I don't want him to like grab a few audience members on the way out. I'm trying to figure out if he's a culprit.
I own 4 guns. Mike directly threatened me once on the phone. He was gonna find me and quote unquote destroy me.
You say you were gonna kill him?
I was gonna beat the that's what I said. I am not putting up with this lying. I am sick of it. I don't get intimidated very easily. You are not real smart, are you? I don't fear anybody.
What is your objective right now?
Honestly, Dr. Phil, if I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here and I'd take his damn head off.
Why?
Because I can't stand him.
Where do I go from here? I want a relationship with my daughter.
You couldn't push her to him anymore if you had a stick and was chasing her down the street. When I introduced the guest earlier, I warned you that this story had a few twists and turns. David said Gina has tried to convince everyone that he brainwashed her daughter. But David is convinced it's the other way around. He says Gina is the one who has done the brainwashing. He believed it all started long ago when Alexis was just a baby.
When Alexis was 2.5, out of the blue, Alexis told me that her dad gave her owies in her shoo-shoo. and that is what she called her private parts at that time. I did confront Dan about this, and he was extremely upset with me and told me that the next time I accuse him of hurting our daughter, that I better be with the police or he was going to strangle me. I believe that Dan sexually molested our daughter. I watched Alexis's behaviors totally just change. She started becoming withdrawn. She'd have nightmares. She was wetting the bed. She would say that Daddy touched her with a scissors, or she would say that Daddy touched her with a knife.
My mom never caught him, she just heard it from me. I know something happened, but I don't remember anything. My biological father denies everything that has happened.
When we went to the police, there was no physical evidence, so they said that it was his word against hers. Dan wasn't charged of molestation. Dan went 7 years without seeing the children. I wanted nothing more but for Dan to be a part of their life. But I could not trust Dan because of what he had done to Alexis.
Now, Dan claims Gina unleashed a campaign to destroy him after he broke up with her years ago. He said he would never, ever hurt his own daughter, and if there is a manipulative brainwasher in this bunch, it's Gina. Take a look.
I was involved in Alexis's life for a little over 2 years until Gina started making accusations that I was abusing Alexis. It's my belief that Gina got pregnant with our children on purpose, without my consent, just to keep our relationship together. I decided to leave. She wasn't letting me see my kids, so I took her to court. That's when she said, "Oh, by the way, he's molesting his daughter." To hear those words come out of her mouth and everyone's looking at you, it makes you want to crawl underneath a rock and just die. She decided she would use the kids as pawns to hurt me. The accusations completely destroyed my relationship with my daughter. I've always told Gina that you have to love the children more than you dislike me. I have never sexually molested my daughter. I've waited for the last 15 years to clear my name, a chance to let my daughter know that I'm not the monster her mother has portrayed me to be, and a chance to start healing our relationship and be in her life.
I have a rule, and that is, one thing I just generally don't do is put an abuser and a victim together. That's just something you generally don't do. And I know you have some relationship with Dan, correct? So I'm going to ask you, are you comfortable with me bringing him out here?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't already have some relationship with him, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even ask you that. But you're okay with that, correct?
I am.
Okay, if you all would move down one, I appreciate it. And I'm going to ask Dan to come on out. Dan, Dr. Phil.
Hi.
Good to meet you, sir. Have a seat right here. Dan, thank you for coming. This kind of got all brought up a little bit at the behest of David, because you, as you got to know Alexis, started to kind of say, now what happened? And you started to question some of this, right?
Yes, I did.
And then you really hated that, right?
Alexis told me, she said, "Mom, Dan and his mother are making chaos in this house. We're fighting and everything. They're talking such crap about you. And all I do is have to stick up for you." He goes, it's causing chaos because they keep lying about you.
What did Alexis tell you they were saying about you?
Oh, that I was the bad guy, that I lied about the molestation, that I was keeping the kids from him. His mom wanted to be involved in the kids' lives, and I wouldn't let her. None of it's true.
Mm-hmm. So, Dan, let me ask you something, just straight up. Did you or did you not molest your daughter?
100% did not.
Were you sexually inappropriate with her in any way?
Never.
Did you touch her in any suggestive, provocative, or sexual fashion?
No.
Then how did you wind up getting to be such a focus of all of this at the time where she insists that you did, and your daughter has been brought up over the last 16 years believing that you are a monster that has preyed upon her and violated her at such a young and tender age.
Her mother didn't bother bringing it up until after I took her to court.
That's not true, Dan. You told the officer that you were going to go for joint custody after you were questioned about this. I gave them all the paperwork.
Okay.
You did?
Yes.
We have all the paperwork.
Yes.
We have all the paperwork you gave us and a whole lot more that you didn't give us. In 45 years, this is a first for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it.
I don't buy it, lady. And later,
I have no reason to lie.
What better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
you actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
Let's look at the results.
I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying.
If you would like to take a polygraph.
Let's go.
We have a timeline, actually, of how this went down according to court records, police reports, and that sort of thing. And I want to take a look at that, and I want to step back and do that. And by the way, as we do this, I want to make one thing really clear. Whatever turns out to be the case or not the case, one thing we know for absolute sure is you did absolutely nothing wrong. We're real clear on that, okay? You did absolutely nothing wrong at the time. You did absolutely nothing wrong with what you have believed or not believed since then. You've done absolutely nothing wrong in how you've reacted or not reacted. You've done absolutely nothing wrong. Are we clear on that?
Yeah.
Look me in the eye and tell me we're clear on that.
We're clear.
Okay. We're talking about essentially 16 years ago. And the first thing that we want to talk about is in January, Dan starts visitations with Alexis and her brother at this point. Okay, then February, we're talking the first week, Alexis is reported to have said, Daddy, that's referring to you here, gives me owies in my shoo-shoo. And this was how you say she referred to her private parts.
Correct.
At that point. Now here we're talking about the first week of February.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Now, then we go into a period where you leave the children with Dan, Alexis and her brother, from the first week of February for a 4-month period. She reports to you the 1st of February that her father is molesting her, and you continue to deliver her into his hands for 4 months. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe he would do such a thing to his daughter.
And as a mother, believing that this man is molesting your infant daughter, you consciously and knowingly continue to deliver her into his hands for 4 months. I'm sorry. You are the first mother, first, in 45 years that has ever said, my daughter is being molested by a man and I'm going to deliver her into his hands for 4 more months, knowing what he is doing to her. In 45 years, this is a first for me. You're the first.
I didn't want to believe it. And I did ask him about it before when they were having their visits, and he told me nothing was happening. He told me nothing was happening, and I wanted to believe him. I didn't know maybe if he wiped her wrong when she went to the bathroom. I didn't want to believe that he would touch his daughter like that and hurt her. I thought I knew him better.
Nothing happened. You know.
No, Dan, I don't. In my heart, in my gut, I know something happened.
You wanted
exactly my point. In your
I was
gut,
wrong,
in your
Dr.
heart,
Phil.
and then you take this 2-year-old child and go put it in this monster predator's lap. I don't buy it, lady. What do you believe?
I know something happened. I can feel it in my gut.
It's her mother's put this all in her head.
And later,
until there's a polygraph test done, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with anything.
you actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
Let's look at the results.
There has been allegations since Alexis was 2.5 that Dan molested her. I don't believe that Dan did molest Alexis. I do know a little bit about psychology, and it doesn't add up. There's just a lot of stories from Alexis and Gina. The stories are a little different from each person. Alexis has told me that she doesn't really know if she remembers it happening.
The police investigation, pediatrician, I mean, I got the whole report right here, but bottom line, they say nothing abnormal. Nothing abnormal. They examine the child. They look at everything. They look at tissue damage. They look at everything you can imagine. They say, let me tell you, a 2-year-old, they say a 2-year-old, nothing abnormal. A 2-year-old. And from what you described, there cannot be nothing.
I don't think he her. I think he fondled her.
You said he did.
I said he fondled her. Touching her is inappropriate. That's molestation. She's always said
You
it
were
was
saying weird stuff about knives and scissors.
That's what she told me.
No.
And it wasn't just me she would tell this to. I have the report of other people she told this to.
In your family.
Okay,
No, it
I have
wasn't
the
my
report
family.
too. We'll look at that. Then Alexis told the CPS her mother told her why she was there, because Daddy touches me. CPS says, why are you here? Well, my mommy told me I was here because.
And they also said that I told her that Daddy had always in her head. Her daddy had always in his head that he needed to be fixed. She asked why we were going to get in question. I didn't know what to tell her. I told her that we were going to talk to them about Daddy. What was I supposed to tell her?
How about let them do their own report and stop putting weird things in my daughter's
I wasn't
head?
putting weird things in her head.
A couple of months later, the therapist said, there is just not enough information here to proceed. Nothing abnormal. CPS says her mother told her what to say. Therapist says there's just not enough information to proceed. What do you think about all of this? What do you believe? What do you know? What do you believe?
Being that I can't, I literally don't remember anything, and so it's hard for me, but from what family has told me, there's certain family members that I know they're not gonna lie to me. And so I know that they're telling me the truth, and I know something happened. I know something happened.
And what do you mean you know something happened, and how do you know it?
You have a feeling, like, I can feel it in my gut. I know.
You know what? What is it you know?
Something happened to me.
Uh-huh. You don't know when, you don't know what, and you don't know by who, but you know something. And you said, and I wrote it down, I believe I was molested because my mother says I was.
And that's the only reason why, is her mother's put this all in her head.
Do you want to set your daughter free? Do you want to set yourself free? I just want you to think about this. Dan says Gina brought Alexis and her brother to see him only a few months ago. And you won't believe what she was up to then. We'll talk about that next.
This is a card that Gina sent me while I was in jail. This card, along with all the other letters that she sent me, she had perfume on, a lot of perfume.
You say absolutely no way, no how.
Absolutely no
But
way.
you have lived under this cloud for 16 years.
Yes, I have.
Have you ever wavered?
No, never.
You didn't do this.
Absolutely not.
Why would anyone make this up about someone else? What would be her possible motive for making this up?
She had a fairy tale that she wanted she and I to be in. She wanted to be married when we were first dating and whatnot. And when it didn't happen, when it didn't work out between us, and she saw me with another girl, she got enraged. And what better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
That's not true.
In the last 15 years, have you lived a model citizen life?
No, by no means.
You've not always made good choices.
Unfortunately, I have not.
But has it ever been in this area?
Never.
Has there ever been another allegation of you
Never.
doing something like this?
Never.
Dan says Gina uses the kids as an excuse to see him. He says she even sent him love letters doused with her perfume.
This is a card that Gina sent me while I was in jail, one of several. Inside of it, it just talks about, I hope you have a good week, keep your eyes on Jesus, and then it says, love, Gina. This card, along with all the other letters that she sent me, she had perfume on, a lot of perfume. You could smell it from across the room. Gina was sending me all these letters and cards because she wanted to get back together with me. Would you mail somebody a card, especially a love letter, that you believed molested your child?
Okay, can I get in right here real quick? 'Cause I was writing him letters too. He was in jail. My mom and I, he had no one else to come visit him and write him letters. My mom and I both did. We sent him pictures. That's one thing that I will stand with my mom on this.
Thank you.
What do you think about this timeline?
I don't think, until there's a polygraph test done, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with anything right now.
I understand. And you understand, I was trying to find a truth for you. I want you to know a truth. You want to know, right?
Yeah.
Look at your daughter.
I know.
Do you want her to know the truth?
I want to know the truth. I want to, she was telling me these things. I have no reason to lie.
I'm a pretty good judge of people. And I think you are a well-intentioned and loving mother.
Thank you.
I truly do. There's no other shoe to drop. There's no but. That's not a setup, and then I slap you upside the head. I do. I think you're a well-intentioned and loving mother. And I think we do the best we can with what we have at the time. I do. You know, I think
I was young.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, we do the best we can with what we have at the time. And when we know better, we do better. And I think when we're young and in love and scared, we can distort our own reality in a lot of ways. If you thought, as a mother today, if you thought somebody was molesting your 2-year-old daughter, would you bundle her up and drop her off over there this
Hell
weekend?
no. Hell no. No.
But you're trying to tell me that you believed that at the time and you did that? And I know enough about you to know if you truly believed that at the time, horses couldn't drag you over there. But yet, you say you believe this was happening and you thought, all right, he is essentially raping my daughter. I'll go drop her off over there so he can do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again for 4 months.
He also told me that his grandparents were there supervising the visits.
I don't give a damn if the 3rd Armored Division was there.
And I agree with you 100%, Dr. Phil. I do.
If my wife believes someone was hurting one of my children, she would cut their throat and watch them bleed out before she would drop that child over there. And so would you. And if that's not the case, how are you going to explain to this precious child that you delivered her to the hands of her predator month after month after month? And the answer is, I don't believe you did.
I think I was protecting my children. He lost his visitation rights.
As soon as their psychological evaluation's done, I was given visitation right away.
I've read several accounts of you explaining this. At one time, you reported that he had touched her with his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
At another time, with scissors and a knife. You reported at one point that because of this, that at daycare she had put another little girl on the floor wrapped in a blanket and touched her between the legs.
Right.
When they talked to the worker at daycare, they said, that never happened. I never saw that. I never reported that. I never told her that happened. When they said that you had reported that another person had witnessed her doing a specific act with a little boy involving playing doctor and touching him in a specific way. They went and interviewed that person independently. That person said,
that's not true. It's in the police report.
That
it's
person
in the police report.
I've got the report. I'm telling you, that person said, that never happened.
It's not true.
It is true. I'm reading it right now. When Alexis was asked about what happened, she said, well, he touched my shoe with, just, it's hard for kids to keep stories straight, but it's never hard for victims to keep stories straight. Isn't it just possible that in the chaos of being a single mother in emotional turmoil, that facts became convoluted and merged together and built into something more than they were?
I was only going on what my daughter was telling me.
Well, is it possible that you weren't hearing that clearly?
No, I don't think so.
Is it possible that they observed that you exaggerated difficulties and blew things out of proportion?
Not exaggerated and blown things out of proportion. I'm an emotional person, yes, but I don't blow things up and exaggerate on things.
Said she was kidnapped.
In my mind, I believe she was mentally kidnapped. Yes, I
I'm just telling you what they were observing about you at the time. It's my observation now, and the observation of the people that were investigating this at the time said they found absolutely no evidence, and the people evaluating you at the time said, you know, she tends to blow things out of proportion. She tends to get over involved in these relationships and exaggerate things and use these children in a way that is not healthy.
I don't believe I did. I think I was protecting my children. He lost his visitation rights for reasons.
Gained them right back. As soon as their psychological evaluation's done, I was given visitation
No, you
right
weren't.
away.
Look at the last court paper.
Well, based on things that you had said, I can see why people would err in the direction of caution, but there was not one physical or psychological finding to support it.
There was I submitted a letter from her therapist that she was seeing. I submitted a letter from her school, too. And all of them said she showed signs. And that is why he lost his visitation rights.
Well, coming up, Dan said he wanted to clear his name and take a polygraph. A lot of people say that as a bluff, and when it comes time, they choke and come up with every excuse in the book. Well, I called that bluff. Did he take it? And did he pass? I'll tell you that when we come back. Gina claims her ex-husband Dan molested their daughter Alexis when she was 2 years old. Dan says 100% it never happened. He claims Gina made it up to punish him for leaving her. Dan says police found no evidence to support her claims. He said he would take a polygraph to put an end to Gina's allegations. When I asked Alexis about it earlier, she said, I don't know what to think. And I won't know what to think unless he's willing to take a polygraph and I can get some clarity about this. She also said she wants to know the truth. Well, Jack Tremarco is here. He was a special agent with the FBI for 21 years. He is, in my opinion, the absolute best of the best. So you actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
And let me ask you what your experience was with Mr. Tremarco. Did he treat you well?
Very professional.
And do you believe that this was a fair test?
Yes, I do.
Jack, was it a fair test?
All of my tests are fair, Dr. Phil. And Dan was no exception. He complied with my instructions. There were no indications of countermeasures, that is, attempts to beat the polygraph process. The chart quality was good, and I came to a definite conclusion.
Mm-hmm. All right, and let's look at the results. Question 1. Did you ever have sexual contact with your daughter since she was born? And your answer was?
No.
The second question, did you ever have sexual contact with Alexis? And your answer was?
No.
And the results to both of those questions was that those answers were non-deceptive. So according to this polygraph, you have never had sexual contact with your daughter since the minute she was born. Jack, was this a close call?
No, it was a +8, Dr. Phil. In order for Dan to have passed the test, he would have needed a +2 or above. So it was substantial.
Dan, how does it feel to have this publicly acknowledged?
I don't care about the public acknowledgement. I just want my daughter to know that that's it.
Alexis, how do you feel?
I don't even know
I'm sorry?
I don't even know right now.
It's hard for her to know how to feel when it's been pumped in her head for 16 years. Something that
Don't
didn't
start
happen.
that, please.
It's not your fault.
Stop.
And how do you, are you glad to know the results?
I still don't think my mom's lying to me.
You said you wanted the poly results, and you have them. And you heard me say that I believe your mother is well-intentioned.
Yeah. I love my mom.
Nobody is asking you to do anything other than have love and loyalty for your mother. I hope this can be taken off the table, and you and your mother can take this from between you, and you can talk about this. Have you heard me say that your mother was a liar? Have you heard me say that your mother was vicious or vindictive? You've not heard me say one thing.
And I'm not mad at you, but when I hear other people with my mom.
Okay, look, what these people are interested in is that you would at least show some graciousness towards your father, who has for 15 years walked around with people thinking that he is some kind of pervert that hurt his daughter.
Can I ask why I didn't get a lie detector? I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying about what.
If you would like to take a polygraph,
I would.
Mr. Tremarco is here today and prepared to administer that to you today.
Let's go.
We'll be right back. The whole goal that I always have is for people, particularly in families, to get along. And you need to figure out, David, that you're going to go a whole lot further by trying to get along with parents instead of them trying to get along with you. For her to see you get along with them by showing some respect and all is a tremendous gift to her, I can assure you. And you guys might take a deep breath and figure out the quickest way from A to Z is not at the most feverish pace. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Jack Tremarco. You heard that Gina wants to take a polygraph exam, so we're going to try and contribute to this mystery. We will add it right into this show so everyone can see. If you or someone you know is caught in the middle of a family drama, I'm here to help. Go to drphil.com and tell me your story, and I am prepared to offer resources to this family to help heal any and all wounds. We will see you next time. Gina, thank you. Good to help you. Good to meet you. Congratulations for putting this behind you. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Yeah, good to see you, my friend.
The
the show just concluded. Gina has decided that she will take the polygraph test. What we're going to discuss with her is whether she was actually told by Alexis that Daddy had touched her and hurt her in her shoo-shoo.
I'm feeling very confident with it. I feel like I'm gonna pass.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Gina,
Yes.
I'm Jack, okay?
Nice to meet you. If I pass, it means that Alexis knows I was never lying to her and that I've always told the truth.
What I've got you, Gina, is a -6 on this test. In order for you to fail the test, you would have needed a -4.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Well, let me take that stuff off you.
I'm not lying. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Do you have any questions of me?
No, I want to go. I'm so pissed right now because I'm not lying. God knows I'm not lying. And you know what? Your lie detector test may say I'm lying. Fine. It's a machine. And everybody in the world may think, okay, she's lying. But guess what? Jesus, my Savior, He knows I'm not lying. And that's all that matters to me. He tested I was lying. Stop. No, I'm not gonna stop because I'm not. I'm not lying. End of story. That's all I have to say. I'm not lying. I know it. Jesus knows it. That's all that matters to me. I'm done.
Gina, you've ruined my life with these false accusations. You've ruined the life of my daughter. Let my daughter and I have a relationship that we've always wanted and let us heal. Stay away from me.
The following program contains graphic images. Viewer discretion is advised. Today on Dr. Phil.
She was barely alive. She had lost both ears, her nose, her cheeks, her upper lip, and her lower chin had been pulled away and was hanging.
He actually sprung off the ground, taking my head, going back and forth.
Jerking you around. He finally released.
Something fell on the ground and it was my lips with my nose.
You could just see straight up through my nose and then just all my teeth.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. She is one of the bravest young women I have ever met. It was a conversation yesterday that I just had to continue today. Jacqueline was savagely attacked by 2 dogs she was hired to watch. It was so brutal, it took police 37 minutes before they felt safe enough to enter the house because of the dogs. That's 37 minutes these canines were left to relentlessly attack this poor girl. Here's what happened yesterday.
2 separate dog attacks in our area. One that has left a man in critical condition.
And in the other, a 12-year-old was attacked after getting off a school bus.
Who's to blame when a protective dog crosses the line and becomes aggressive, becomes dangerous, goes on the attack?
Home surveillance shows 2 pit bulls approach the man as he tries to shoo them away, and they begin to attack. An attack so vicious, we won't show it.
4 days ago, this 61-year-old mail carrier was mauled to death by a pack of dogs.
On September 17th, I was visiting a friend. While I was there, her pit bull Havoc attacked me for no reason and without warning. He ripped off my scalp, and when I fell to the floor, the attack continued.
You didn't see this coming at all?
No, not at all.
How much of your scalp was ripped off?
5 by 10.
This was down to the skull, right?
Yes, they couldn't reattach it.
Her actions caused what happened. And he didn't maul her. He didn't maul her. There was no blood.
You say that she's just exaggerating this and that your dog was euthanized and should not have been.
Yes, sir.
And you say there was no blood, or?
No. I gave her a paper towel.
You say you just gave her a paper towel.
Yes, sir.
I can't show these pictures to the audience.
I don't know what all that is. When did that happen?
I'm assuming it happened in the same time. That's skull, that's bone. Should have a skin graft. You don't fix that with a paper towel.
I hate that it happened.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
It doesn't seem like you do. Have you said that to her?
Yeah, she knows that.
How would I know that? You were there, you saw. I mean, it was pretty horrific. Pretty horrific.
This is a story about what happened to 22-year-old Jacqueline Duran, an experienced dog sitter in North Texas. She was mauled by 2 dogs. A medic rescued Jacqueline and ran out with her.
I opened the front door and 2 of the 3 dogs immediately attacked me and targeted my face, and I had hundreds of bites all over my body. I was in a coma for 8 days. I'm set to have my 18th surgery. I will need more eyelid surgeries, more lip surgeries. I will need to get cranial implants for prosthetic ears, more nose surgeries, and my face can function better.
Jacqueline, I'm so glad to meet you and so glad you're here. What you've been through is really hard to wrap your head around. How many times were you bitten?
I had over 800 bites on my body.
800 bites.
They pushed the door open with their heads, and I was immediately brought down to the ground.
You know, I've been a student of human nature all my life, and the will to live, the will to survive is something that is, it's different in different people. And you see certain people that have astounding courage in the face of overwhelming odds. And you may not feel that way, but I can tell you there are a lot of people that would never have come out of that alive. And you are a courageous young woman. Now, since that day, she's been documenting her recovery and says she still has a long way to go. And you can look here at what she's been through in terms of the reconstructive surgeries in April 22, July 22, August, and February 23. And you say you've had 18 surgeries?
18 surgeries.
Since the attack? And do they have any estimate of how many more you'll have to go through?
They don't know the number of surgeries, but they assume 1 to 2 more years.
Of just going through it?
Yes.
And tell me, what kind of conversation do you have with yourself to get up for these surgeries each time? What do you say to yourself about that?
I tell myself that when I come out of anesthesia, I'm going to look different, or I'm going to feel better, because I'm just 1 step closer to being restored as much as I can be.
Right.
And I have full faith in my surgeons, and I put it in their hands to take care of me, and so I put the trust in them.
Mm-hmm. When you go through a surgery, then you have the recovery afterwards. And so you're just in constant either getting ready for a surgery or in recovery from a surgery. So do you ever have any time when you're not either immediately getting ready for a surgery or recovering from one? Do they ever give you any downtime to just be?
I do. The process is usually, recently it's been 4 months in between surgeries.
Okay.
So as of the time that I got this skin flap on my face, it was July, and I didn't get another surgery until December. And now I'm going to get one in March.
Okay. So that was the longest interval.
Yes.
Okay. And that's so they can have tissue expanders where they get more tissue to work with?
It's so that they can actually debulk and take out tissue.
Uh-huh.
And so it'll get slimmed down to an extent.
Okay. And what's your attitude and mindset during that 6-month period? What do you think about? What do you focus on?
I try to stay busy, because I think that keeping my mind off of things as much as I can helps, and also just being around people who care about me, and my dogs, my 2 dogs at home, have been therapy for me because they don't leave my side, and they're amazing.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people would say, I wouldn't want to be around any animals, or I'd become a cat woman or something. And then we see a picture of you there with your face up against a dog. How do you feel about that, being around a dog like that?
I'm not generally scared of dogs. It's certain breeds that I will now stay completely away from. And there's just triggers that come with that, with certain breeds. With my dogs, they're very calm, and they've been trained from the beginning.
Right. So this dog here, is this a golden?
It's a lab mix.
Uh-huh. And you trust this dog 100%?
Absolutely. I've had her for 12 years.
The attack occurred on December 23rd, 2021. Her birthday is December 24th. She turned 22 as she was barely alive. She had lost both ears, her nose, her cheeks, her upper lip, and her chin had been pulled away.
And later,
I play it back in my head trying to find something that would make sense. There was nothing that caused the dog to snap. He actually sprung off the ground, and he was probably attacking me for 60 seconds.
are these your parents here?
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Dr. Phil.
Tell me how you guys have gotten through this and dealt with this. I know you have to have great admiration for the strength and spirit of your daughter here. So, John, what was it like when you found out what had happened and seeing what happened to your baby girl here?
Well, Dr. Phil, the attack actually occurred exactly 14 months to the day, and it's a moment that's frozen in time, in our lifetime, and will be forever. And when we got to the hospital, she was in the middle of undergoing 8 hours of life-saving surgery. We didn't find out until actually the attack occurred on December 23rd, 2021. Her birthday is December 24th. The clock moved past midnight. She turned 22 as she was barely alive, laying on the table. We found out that she had lost both ears, her nose, her cheeks, her jaw muscles, her upper lip, and her chin had been pulled away and was hanging from her skull and facial structure. So for us, it's been living day to day. It's been just absolutely blessed, first of all, by her survival, her courage. I know I'm her dad, but I can tell you I've never known a more courageous person than my daughter. And I see it every day, and I see the response that she elicits from followers all over the world. And the attitude that she has, no doubt, is helping her healing process. You know, as she lay in a coma for 8 days, her mother and I and the rest of our family just kept wondering, how are we going to be strong for her? And what it's been is she has been so strong for us. She, just her being with us and so much in tune with looking at the future, her future. She was 3 semesters shy of graduating with her undergraduate degree. She's now back in school, taking a couple classes online. She just found out she started working at an internship where she can do that in a hybrid fashion. She is a miracle on top of miracles, and we are just so blessed and grateful that she's here with us today.
As I say, Robin and I have a home in Dallas, and so we became aware of this the second it happened, and we've been following it very, very closely. And I think we're in contact with y'all a long time ago. She wasn't in any position to talk about it, but we just were in contact to let y'all know. And so I've watched the progress along the way, and it's, as I say, different people call on different strengths to get along, and it truly is inspirational. I mean, people watch this and go, I've had people I've talked to about it that have said things to me like, I'll never complain about anything again ever in my life. Not a sore foot, not a bad knee, not anything, when you see the strength and spirit. And it's the same way with you guys. Mom, what's it been like for you? It's got to be hard to watch this.
It is. We're just so blessed to have her still. It's just been, she's truly amazing. It's been hard.
Yeah, and surely there have to be times where you've thought, how can she take any more? I mean, how can you go through, first wake up and find out what's happened to you,
right,
and then look at this road ahead and not know what the outcome is going to be, and go through this time and time again, but she just doesn't ever seem to break.
She never did. And we lost her multiple times on the table. We didn't know that till months later. And just to know how strong she is, I knew she was going to be okay. And from day one, when we got to see her that first time, we just dove in and hadn't stopped.
Yeah.
And as John said, we thought we were going to be strong for her. She's been so strong.
Some dogs can care less, come and let you take all the TVs, and some of them won't let you step 1 foot in the house, so it's very important to know the temperament of your animal.
What do you have to say to dog owners? Do you think you put pressure on yourself to stay strong for your parents?
I don't think as much as people think I could, because they know that I'm very blunt, to the point, very truthful. And another reason why I don't want to be, I want to show my feelings, is because social media usually hides everything that is bad. And I want to make it a point on social media that there are times where you just can't hide it. And it's good to see the bad, because there's no way there's 100% good in someone's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's, I can tell you, having a specialty in behavioral medicine, the point at which your psychological functioning and your physiological functioning merge, it's not a weakness to be vulnerable. And, there are times when it's okay to let them hold you up and not have to, steal against everything every day. It's okay to say, don't seem to have it today. It's okay to let others hold you up sometimes, and not have to be strong every single day, because you got a loving support system here that cares about you, and that's part of being real as well. And I can tell you that the attitude that you have is such an outcome determinative factor with all that you're going through. This attitude has such an impact on what the end result will be, because seriously, you heal faster, you move through the process so much better, and you will have so much better outcome when you've got the attitude that you have. And the treatments that we have today are so much better. And What do you have to say to dog owners? You know, you heard what I was saying to Valina earlier, and Josh was saying about dog owners have to be responsible, but having been through what you've been through, what do you have to say to dog owners?
I think it's the most important thing to communicate with visitors, sitters, whoever it is who walk into their homes, to understand their pet's behavior and to acknowledge it and to make sure that they communicate it to those people.
Yeah, and be real about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, if there's an issue. The dog we had for 13 years that we lost before the two we have now was a Korean Jindo and was incredibly protective of us and wouldn't bother anybody for any reason, but didn't want anybody petting her. And we would tell everybody, don't pet the dog. Dog will never bother you. Just don't reach down, because the dog questioned the intent. You know, we'd reach down. So we told everybody we knew, don't pet the dog. And some people would say, oh, I'm great with dogs. Not with this one, you're not. Don't pet this dog. We told everybody, and it was great. But you got to tell people. You got to know your dog and tell people about your dog. And Josh, you say dogs can get really aggressive in the home because they're territorial, right? That's their job. They're protecting.
Yeah, well, that's one of the characteristics. There's 16 dimensions of temperament, and one of them is the territoriality. And some dogs can care less, come and let you take all the TVs, and some of them won't let you step 1 foot in the house, you know? So it's very important to know the temperament of your animal.
Yeah, and different breeds have it to different degrees, right?
Absolutely. We have to understand that a lot of dogs were originally bred to be guard dogs and to, you know, have that kind of herding mentality. Or these certain dogs were, for example, pit bulls. They are bred to fight each other, you know, and that's the reality. And a lot of people tend to humanize these dogs when in fact they need to keep in mind that this is a predatory animal and that they're not humans, and you can't let them have all those type of privileges because they will have a certain amount of entitlement, and it will contribute to dominant behavior. That can then get dangerous.
Yeah. What do you have here?
This is my boy Slash. This is one of my dogs, my pride and joy. Great dog, you know, trained in full protection, but has the ability to turn it off and to totally be social with kids and people and whatever. So it's really about understanding the temperament and making sure that you're compensating for your dog's characteristics.
Mm-hmm. Seems pretty well behaved.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. When you see a dog like this that's clearly under control, and are you comfortable with that?
Yes, especially with a professional on the other end of the leash.
Yeah, you like to know that for sure. We're going to meet Brooklyn, who says she was petting her cousin's dog when he just snapped and attacked her. We're going to add her to this story when we come back.
I went and acted in the bathroom, and then that was the first time I actually had looked at myself in the mirror. And the only way I can describe myself was looking like a skeleton. You could just see straight up through my nose and then just all my teeth.
Okay. Today we're talking about the rise in dog attacks in recent years. Now, 23-year-old Brooklyn is another victim. She says 2 years ago, she was visiting her family when their dog just snapped, causing major injuries to her face.
Crazy how your life can change in a split second. I don't have any pain, kind of hard to talk. I look like a skeleton.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brooklyn Corey. I was attacked by a pit bull. We weren't playing, he was just sitting, and I was kind of petting his head, telling him how good of a boy he was. I was standing up. I turned around and I turned back, and he literally like lunged at my face, shaking my head like a dog, and then he finally released my head. Something fell on the ground. We went and picked it up, and it was my lip with my nose and the top part of my lip attached. It took 11 minutes to get to the hospital. So they sewed all my skin to the inner parts of my gums, and my nose they had to sew down. The first day I came back from the hospital, I was looking at myself in the mirror. My parents are helping me get my face dressing on, And I looked in the front of the mirror and I like almost had a breakdown because it just kind of hit me. I was scared of myself, but in a week I've learned to just love myself, accept what I look like right now, and just know like this is not what I'm gonna look like for the rest of my life.
Well, Brooklyn, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Have you met each other backstage?
No. So when I first got into the attack, I wasn't able to find like anyone online that had gone through something similar or somebody that was experiencing what I was going through. So I started posting my story in case that, unfortunately, if someone was going through it, they could be able to relate. And a lot of times when I was just posting my stuff, I was just posting it to see the progress and how I was going to heal. But I ended up getting a message and messaging Jacqueline because I had noticed that she was going through something. And I'm pretty sure you reached out to me and was like, hey, I'm seeing your story. Like, you know, we were able to just, I think, relate based on what we're both going through. So,
okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, now you meet in person.
I know,
so
it's great. We were having so much fun backstage, so.
That's great. So this, like we've talked about before, was nothing, no red flags. You didn't see anything coming at all.
No, not at all.
You were just petting this dog, say good boy,
Yeah, I was
and you turn around and boom.
Yeah, I was standing in the kitchen. I play it back in my head trying to find something that would make sense. No dog toy, no dog bowl. There was nothing that caused the dog to snap or act aggressively. But I was petting his head and I turned to look at my cousin and I turned back and he actually sprung off the ground and my fight or flight kicked in. I was going in kind of like a sumo wrestling position, just holding his head and just going wherever he went. He was probably attacking me for like 60 seconds and then finally felt a release. Then something flew and hit the wall and then dropped on the ground. And then I just noticed blood and yeah.
Wow. And when he finally released and so you got away from him and there was space between you, what did the dog do then?
He started making really crazy sounds. I always relate it to Stranger Things, the Demogorgon sound. It was just very vicious and like just weird noises. So I told my cousin at the time, I was like, I need to go, like, he's gonna attack me again. She kept saying, he's gonna attack you again, he's gonna attack you again. So I went and actually hid into the bathroom, and then that was the first time I actually had looked at myself in the mirror. And the only way I can describe myself was kind of looking like a skeleton. You could just see straight up through my nose and then just all my teeth, so.
Right. And you said once he got a hold of you, he was shaking back and forth like tug of war, dog toy jerking you around back and forth.
Yeah, he was taking my head, going back and forth, and then he started going back and forth like this and then back and forth again. And then that's when I was able to get him off.
What would trigger a dog to do this?
There's usually some kind of warning sign somewhere in the dog's behavior. Thing is that the signs are there, but we can't be in denial.
Josh, what's happening at this point? I mean, this is a dog that's her cousin's dog. She's not a total stranger. She's petting the dog, so there's not anything aggressive or confrontational between the two. She's not like locked into a stare contest or anything. And then, boom, it goes off. You've got fear, protection, territoriality, food, all these things that can trigger. It seems like none of these were in play at the time. What would trigger a dog to do this?
Well, a big thing that people tend to ignore, there's usually some kind of warning sign somewhere in the dog's behavior. So whoever owns the dog, most likely there was something, but dogs don't speak. You have to read their body language. So a lot of times it could be fearful. Sometimes it could just be dominant. Sometimes they're just getting away. I remember going to a friend's house one time and this pit bull ran up on me and I said, somebody better watch that dog. It's a party. I said, somebody's gonna watch that dog. That dog is gonna cause a problem at this party. And it kind of came and like checked me and it was kind of like a little dominant check. And I said, oh, and they just have this dog running around this place? Okay. 10 minutes later into the party, little baby got bit. right? So the thing is that the signs are there, but we can't be in denial. And that's the thing, is when you see anything, you need to treat it like it's a red flag. And a lot of times people, they love their dog can do no harm, but I keep it real with people. I don't beat around the bush. I go, listen, you have a serious problem on your hand. You need to address it. And like I said, with this situation, I'm sure that there was something maybe you didn't recognize, but the owner, I'm sure at one point, saw something in this dog that probably needed to be addressed that probably was overlooked.
Well, let's look at the body language to be aware of for dogs, because we want to know what to look for. One is avoidant behavior.
Correct.
And when you're talking about that, you mean just that. They don't want to engage with you in some way, right?
Right. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people talk about leash aggression. Well, dogs have a fight or flight instinct. And if they can't run, if they're on leash, they only can fight. So a lot of times you'll see that same dog in a dog park running away and hide from everybody. So if they can't avoid, then they'll turn into a fight, right? And you have to be able to read that body language and say, this dog is not comfortable. And unfortunately, we live in today's society where people don't have manners. They don't ask if they can pet your dog. They just come up and pet your dog. And sometimes dogs are not comfortable. A lot of people aren't even social to let strangers walk up to them and shake their hand or put their hand over their shoulder, you know? So we have to always keep in mind, especially with COVID, a lot of these dogs have not been socialized properly. Some of them aren't getting out because they're too much to handle outside, so they're not familiar with all of the different social environments that they need to be in. And then, again, just dominance. You know, dominance. Sometimes dogs are just punking their owners. They're walking around the house acting like they paid a mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem is, you know, people, they say, oh, my dog, you know, they want to let the dog sleep with them. They want to let the dog jump on the couch. They want to let them eat off the ice cream cone. All of that stuff, it just contributes to humanizing. And for some dogs, that's not a problem. But for other dogs, it's a huge problem, and behavior will continue to escalate.
Jumping up. Is that playful behavior, or is that a warning sign?
I mean, some dogs jump up on you because they greet. You know, dogs like to lick in the mouth as a way to greet. So sometimes people reinforce that behavior because they let them do it, and it's cute when they're young, and then they get mad when the dog gets too big, you know, and then they tell them don't do it. So it's not always a bad thing, but it can be part of, like, kind of linked to a dominant behavior, being too pushy, biting on your shirt, jumping all over you, you know, rushing past you without really considering you. All of that kind of stuff is dominance. And there's, in the characteristics and temperament that I was talking about, the 16 dimensions, there's dominance with dogs, and then there's dominance with people. And both of those need to be addressed, because dominance with dogs will end up a dog fight, and then the people will end up a biting situation.
Yeah, play biting?
Play biting is a no-go. Okay, no, you got dogs, I'm not a bite toy. Okay, I give the dogs toys to bite, and that's the only thing you bite.
Okay, and then ignoring commands.
Oh, well, that's a big one, because a dog needs to perceive you as a leader and a proper communicator. And if a dog sees you as a lower member of the pack and it's a very dominant dog, well, then the dog will probably take it upon itself to act more in a dominant fashion on the day-to-day.
What should you do with a dog that does what happened here? Because she's just petting this dog, and it jumps up and bites her in the face and rips her lip off. We want to talk about what should happen with a dog like that. Could that dog ever be trusted again? And if so, what needs to happen before that dog's ever around another person again, ever? We'll talk about that next, and what you should and should not do if you or someone else is being attacked by a dog. Talk about all of that. We'll be right back. You go online, click on your favorite news site, and I'll bet you one of the top 10 or 20 stories is going to be someone mauled by a pack of dogs in the neighborhood, a neighborhood dog runs somebody down. You see dog attacks probably 4 out of 5 days that you're looking. It's happened to you inside a home. It happened to you with your cousin's dog. How many surgeries have you had to have so far?
I've had about 6 or 7.
Wow. How many ahead?
I just had one last week, actually.
Wow.
I'm almost towards the end, but maybe just 2 or 3 more minor surgeries.
How have you done mentally and emotionally with this?
I mean, it's weird to say that I'm good, but I think right when the attack happened, my dad said something that's always stuck with me. He's like, you can go one or two ways with this attack. He's like, you can, one, sit on the couch and feel sorry for yourself, but what's that gonna fix? Or two, he's like, you can just go live your life how you're gonna live it and take it day by day, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I've just been doing things that have made me happy, so.
Are you comfortable around dogs?
Yeah, I love dogs. Even this one I'm like wanting to pet, he's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more cautious, I would say, after the attack. I was just more cautious because you know the capability that a dog can have, but any dog. So I think, but they make me happy. I have one of my own, so.
Yeah. Josh, once a dog attacks like it did here, can that dog be trusted? Can that dog be trained? Does it depend on the breed and the age? And I know it depends on the owner, but can that dog be trusted?
Yeah, I think with proper behavior modification and predictable behavior and you actually proofing. So a lot of people tend to teach the dog behavior, but they don't proof it. They don't proof it with the distractions and the social settings that the dog might encounter. And a lot of times obedience is out the window when the dog is scared or stimulated. So you need to make sure that the behaviors have been proofed, and it's always gonna be a management case. I never tell someone, oh, just go act like nothing happened. Like, you always have to keep it in the back of your mind that the dog did what they did. But to answer your question, yes, dogs can be rehabilitated because most aggression a lot of times comes from fear. And if the dog is not as scared, it'll be less prone to react.
Mm-hmm. Most dog bites happen to children, and most of them are in the face because they're down at that level and they get up in a dog's face.
Right.
And it's just target-rich environment for a dog if they get scared or ears pulled or whatever. What do people need to do with their children around dogs?
Anytime you have children around dogs, they need to be managed 100% of the time because dogs also have what we call pain aggression. So if you grab the dog's ear or you poke the dog a certain way, the dog, not saying that he's being aggressive with the child intentionally, it's like, ouch, that hurts, and they're just doing it out of a reactive, like kind of just react to it.
I have a list here of recommendations of what to do if you're being attacked by a dog. First, recognize avoidant behavior and act aloof and calm. Don't act like a threat. Find something to occupy the dog's mouth if you're being attacked. Well, give your least dominant arm if there's nothing nearby. Cut off their airway, choke the dog. Use your belt or a leash or a rope to break the bite. Grab their back legs, spray them with water. Try to keep the dog from shaking, moving, dragging. Secure the dog from the waist or the rear. And I think a lot of these are if somebody's being attacked and you're there, what should you do if somebody else is being attacked? But if you're under attack like you were, he's got a hold of your lip, shaking you like a dog toy.
I mean, you can try to think of how you would do it, but until it's actually happening, I don't think you're gonna know how you're gonna react until it's happening.
Dogs can't bite if they don't have air, and they can't bite if you occupy their mouth, right? Because they only have one tool, and that's their mouth. So, it's really about just staying calm. And again, if you scream and if you fight, a lot of times that will trigger more stimulation for the dog.
A message for owners when we come back. We've been talking today about dogs and dog attacks, which obviously are happening too frequently and often with catastrophic, sometimes fatal results. And I said we're going to talk about a message to owners. And how many here own a dog? Raise your hand. Yeah, a lot of people here own dogs. We're responsible. We own 2 dogs. A lot of y'all own dogs. You're clearly legally responsible for what your dogs do, but forget about that. We have to be responsible for our dogs, and we have to know who our dogs are, what their tendencies are, and we need to let people know. what our dogs are like. We need to pay attention to them. If they're not trained, we need to get them trained. If you can't afford to get a trainer, you can study it and do the training that you can do. And if you're not comfortable with them around people, if they're not socialized well, somebody comes over, put them in another room, lock them up. But be aware that bad things can happen. I mean, look here at what we're talking about. This is just, don't put somebody in a position that Terry's in, Jacqueline, Brooklyn here. You don't want that responsibility. You don't want to create that result. So be responsible. You've got a dog, you're responsible for that. And you don't want to live with the consequences of not taking that responsibility on. So just be cognizant of it. Thank you so much for having the courage to come and share your story. Terry, thank you. Brooklyn, thanks for talking about this. And thanks for all your expertise and adding what you have with this. And we're going to put a link where people can find you if they want to get more information and all of that. I want to thank all of my guests, and a special thanks to Josh Leverett and Callie K9. For more information on today's episode, if you'd like to share your story, go to drphil.com. We'll be discussing all this on my social media platforms, and you know where to find me. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, or Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. You can check them both out on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Due to strong sexual content, viewer discretion is advised.
Today, a Dr. Phil exclusive. It's impossible to imagine.
An 8-year-old girl found locked away in this closet for 6 years.
Enslaved by her parents.
Emaciated, sick, with her hair full of lice.
Her eyes were matted shut. She had no clothes on.
Closet smelled horribly. Urine and all the bodily functions.
Beaten and half-starved.
This child tried to eat anything she could.
She had eaten wood from the door frame.
Now,
this is Lauren's first interview since being rescued from that closet.
The heartbreaking story in her own words.
Do you recall clawing at the door?
I do, because I was trying to get out.
Why did Lauren's mother do this to her own child? Before we start, I have to warn you that today's show contains disturbing and sexually explicit content. This is not a show for children, but it is a show that could save a child's life. It was a crime that sent shockwaves around the world. An 8-year-old girl found starved and locked away in this closet. It was infected by lice, soaked in urine and feces, and normally pitch black. She spent 6 long years trapped in this 9x4 room, kept enslaved by her own parents.
A daughter born into the world under abusive circumstances.
Emaciated, sick, covered in feces, with her hair full of lice.
Felt like I was gonna get sick. I about puked and I cried.
Police say the little girl was caged in a closet, crying for help, and no one listened.
I was the first officer to arrive at the scene. Condition of the little girl, Lauren, was horrible. Her skin was peeling due to laying in her own feces. Lauren's matted hair reminded me of a rat's nest. The closet where Lauren had been kept, it smelled horribly. Urine and all the bodily functions. During the investigation, we found what appeared to be chew marks or teeth marks on the inside of the closet door handle. I haven't ever run across anything like this.
She weighed only 25 pounds and was 3 feet tall, even though she was 8 years old. She was severely malnourished.
30-year-old Barbara Catherine Calhoun has 6 children, but police in Hutchins say only one of them was locked in this closet, which has been her prison for months and quite possibly years.
How could you do that to your own child?
Police say the girl's stepfather was afraid to intervene because he was afraid of his wife.
Day 4 of this trial, and again another round of disturbing testimony outlining the abuse and the impact that abuse will have on an 8-year-old girl.
We hope she'll be able to learn to live with this awful torture and abuse.
at the hands of the one person who was charged to love and protect her.
Prosecutors asked the jury to show 30-year-old Barbara Atkinson no mercy.
It's touched all of us, and we're never going to be able to forget it.
Well, Lauren's parents, Barbara and Kenneth, made sure her existence, locked away in the closet, remained a tightly guarded secret. Neighbors Jeannie and Joe had been in and out of the house, but had no idea that just a few feet away, Lauren lay hidden, naked, and starving. Here's what they say about the day Kenneth revealed Barbie's little secret.
We live catty corner to Barbara and Kenneth Atkinson. Lauren's father would take the youngest children for a walk. Our children rode bikes together, played together.
We were aware that they had a sixth child. There had been a mention of a ghost child. And of course, our eyebrows raised. You know, what ghost child are you speaking of? And, well, our other daughter, she lives with her father. And
one day, Kenneth came over and he told us that he had a secret and that he needed to tell someone. Kenneth walked me into the house, back into his room, to the closet. He then opened the door and he said, "Hello, Lauren." Lauren looked like a Holocaust child. I was stunned. Lauren had sores all over her head where the lice had just taken over. I will never forget it. Terrible shock. It was horrid.
when I walked in, when I finally looked at Kenneth, he was sitting on the couch with his hands on his knees, did not say a word, pretty much staring at the floor. Made no efforts to move, made no efforts to speak. Looking at the closet, in a simple word, is absolutely disgusting. The pictures are very mild compared to what was actually seen in the closet. The air freshener that Lauren had obviously tried to eat and didn't finish. The one thing that caught my eye was the chewed up plastic butter bowl. All around the room was chewed up completely. I remember just, oh my God, this child was starving. She tried to eat anything she could. I will never forget it.
Well, Jeannie, one of the first people to lay eyes on Lauren, is joining us today via Polycom. Jeannie, thank you so much for joining us. How do you feel as you watch this again?
I hadn't forgot it. Every day it crosses my mind.
Ken told you that he had something to show you, that he wanted to show you what he called Barbie's secret. Take us through that moment when he walked you to that closet door and opened it.
He opened the door and he said, "Hello, Lauren." And the little girl looked up at me. She looked at me with her left eye barely open. She had no clothes on. Her head, like you had mentioned, was matted everywhere. And her skin looked scaly and white, pasty. She was an itty-bitty, fragile looking child.
And how old did she look?
I've got a 3-year-old granddaughter, and she looks smaller than that.
But in fact, she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
But you did tell your husband, and y'all called the police. You did what exactly needed to be done. You got authorities there. You got this girl out of that closet, you and your husband. Now, following her discovery in the closet, Lauren spent months in a hospital being nursed back to health. After her physical health was stabilized, therapist Sandra Mahoney volunteered to work with Lauren. Only then did the cruel and sordid details of Lauren's abuse begin to come to light.
Lauren spent 5 weeks in the hospital. When I saw her, I thought she looked like a 3-year-old child. And her walking and her motor skills were like a 3-year-old child. My specialty is play therapy. She began to play out her themes during the play therapy sessions. She acted out pain and suffering and asking for help. When she showed anger, she would take this baby doll and spread the legs apart and scream, hit and punch the vagina of the doll and say, "You hurt me, stop it, stop it, stop it." She began to have what Lauren called visions, memories of what her stepfather had done to her. Lauren would describe how her stepfather would invite his friends over, and they would have sexual activities with her too. She had to have reconstructive surgery because from her vagina to her rectum had been totally scarred, torn open, and she had to wear a colostomy bag for 3 months. The thing that was the hardest to watch was a little child acting out bleeding and moaning and begging for help. And I realized during those sessions that she had had to heal herself for 6 years. The thing that bothers me the most is the fact that a mother and a stepfather could be so evil and cruel and take pleasure out of so much pain.
The little girl we've been talking about, Lauren, is now 18. Now, Sandra's been working with her for the past 10 years, and she has evolved a lot during that time, right?
Yes, she's made great strides.
How did it begin to come out that she had been so savagely abused sexually?
Through play therapy, she would take a doll, a baby doll that represented her, and through her actions of spreading the legs apart and beating on the vagina area with a knife, a play knife, or anything she could pick up, and she would scream, stop it, and she would say her stepfather's name. And I knew the child had been abused.
You said she would repeatedly lay on the floor
yes.
and draw blood
Right.
spewing from her mouth. Tell
Right.
me about that.
She would lay on the floor and put her little head this way, take a piece of paper with a red marker and just make blood, and she would say it was blood, and she would moan, and she would say, help. She would do this repeatedly, session after session, and that's how I knew. A little girl was vomiting blood and bleeding, and for 6 years, no doctor ever looked at her, and she healed by herself.
And how damaged was she vaginally and rectally?
Between the vaginal area and the rectum area, it was just one solid gaping area. So this little girl had to have the reconstruction surgery.
We've now learned that she was forced to eat fecal matter.
Right.
She ate parts of the wall, the
Right.
floor, the bowl. So all these inanimate objects were impacted as well, right?
They were. And they said if they had not found her and cleared her out, she soon would have died.
And as she's talked about this and moved along, you found that she had an uncommon vocabulary for someone that had been held prisoner from 2 to 8. What's the explanation for that?
What I found out was that she had a lot of words, but she didn't have a lot of understanding. She didn't know what grass was. This family would put a radio in front of her door and turn it to a country western station, and that's how she learned her words.
So they had this radio playing so people wouldn't hear her.
Right, to buffer her sounds.
Inside, they'd have that playing to drown her out if she made noise.
Right. And they would leave her for several days at a time. So this radio was going on nonstop, 24/7.
Well, we're going to take a break. And next, she survived the unthinkable, being held captive and sexually and physically abused, brutalized, and threatened on a daily basis by her own parents. We're going to meet this young woman, Lauren, when we come back.
It was always dark. I didn't get fed. They took me out of the closet to have sex with me. When they were done with me, they would beat me and throw me in the closet. It was like torture.
Well, today we're talking about the shocking story of an innocent and precious 8-year-old girl forced to live in a dark, lice-infested, feces-strewn closet from the ages of 2 to 8 years old. She thought it was always dark because she never saw daylight. When she was rescued, she weighed 25 pounds and was the size of a small 3-year-old. Now, luckily, she did survive, and she is here with us today at age 18. She says she wants to tell her story. Take a look.
I was locked in a closet for 6 years. I could not get out, no matter what I did. It was always dark. I didn't get fed. I didn't get to eat. I had to go to the bathroom in the closet where I slept. I had a pillow on the floor and maybe a blanket every now and then if I was good. I would cry until I fell asleep. I thought I could escape by clawing the door, and they were furious. My parents said if they couldn't have me, no one could. I did not try to escape again. They took me out of the closet to have sex with me. There's 3 steps. The first step was oral, and then the second steps where they would have sex with me on the bed and tie me down. There was blood all over the sheets and everywhere. The third step, they would take me to the shower so that they could have sex with me in there. When they were done with me, they would beat me and throw me in the closet. It was like torture. My mom would bring home guys and girls to have sex with me if I screamed or yelled. That really made them mad. My parents thought it was hilarious for them to watch. That I had to do what they said so that I could stay alive. My parents would use some kind of weapon to beat me. I have scars all over my body where they have cut me. My stepdad would get the gun that was beside his bed, put it to my head, and pull the trigger, pretend to shoot me. If I had a message from my parents, it would say, "Rot in jail," because that is where they belong.
Well, this is Lauren's first interview since being rescued from that closet. Tell me, how much do you remember about that entire 6-year period? I know parts of this are fuzzy for you, but parts of it are very, very clear. True?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember the most?
Probably the stuff that they did to me, like the abuse and the sexual abuse and stuff. That's the main stuff that comes back the most. Yeah.
You would be in this room, and everybody needs to remember that this started at 2 years old. So you didn't know what was right or what was wrong. Did you have any sense whether your existence, your life was different than other people?
No, I thought that it was like every other kid, like that every kid was like that they did that stuff.
So you're in this closet and it's dark, right?
Yes, sir.
When they came to open that door, had you learned to know opening that door is going to lead to pain?
I did, because that was the only time they took me out.
All right. And they took you out for what?
To have sex with me and beat me.
And who is they? Who had sex with you and beat you?
My parents, Barbie and Kenneth.
So your mother had sex with you?
Yes, my mother did.
And your father Ken did?
Yes.
How would that go?
I was tied to the bed so that I couldn't run away. Evidently, I would shake the ropes loose or something. And they started using handcuffs instead of ropes. My dad would start it, and then my mom, and when they got tired of me, they would untie me and do it with themselves and make me watch.
Mm-hmm. And eventually, they would put you in the shower, and there would be more sexual interaction. Then you would go back in the closet?
Yes.
What would cause them to beat you one time versus another?
If I did like something wrong when they were sexually abusing me, I got like some kind of punishment, like a beating or cut, or my dad one time, I didn't do, I didn't do something right to make him happy, so he put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger.
You now know this was very wrong, that you didn't deserve this.
No kid or anybody should go through what I've been through. Nobody deserves anything to do harm to them.
Lauren has never seen the shocking pictures from the day she was rescued or the closet that she lived in all those years. Now, I spoke to Lauren and her therapist before the show, and they agreed that she was emotionally prepared to see them today. That's next. Since this all took place, you've not since that time seen any pictures of where you were kept. I have some pictures here to show you. Are you okay to look at these?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you and I'll look at them together. This is the day you were rescued. You were sitting at the kitchen table. Tell me what that brings back to your thinking.
I was so small. I didn't weigh very much.
You were actually about 25 pounds. In comparison to other 8-year-olds, we kind of have a chart to show where you would be normally. You can see you were dramatically different. At 8 would normally be 57 pounds and 3 feet 9 inches, and you were just a little under 3 feet and less than half the normal weight. Right, the second picture is just a close-up of the face the night you were rescued. Do you get that that's you?
No, not today, no. Can't believe that. It looks so different.
Do you remember getting dressed that day? Because this was different, because usually you were just in the floor maybe with a blanket and completely naked, but this day you got dressed. This day you came out. This day you sat at the table. This is a picture taken of the closet where you were locked away. And when you were in there, it was almost always dark, except when the door was opened. And this is the picture taken inside the closet. We have a picture of the doorknob, which has scratches on it. Do you recall trying to get out of the closet, clawing at the door or the handle or the wall in any way?
I do, because I was trying to get out, and every time I would, they would put like a lock or something on it so that I wouldn't get out.
There were times that they would be gone, and you would hear the other kids outside in the house, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever yell for them to help you or to let you out?
I tried to yell to come get me out, and they would turn the radio up louder so that they wouldn't hear me, because there was always a radio playing.
Have you ever seen any of your siblings, brothers or sisters, since then?
I have not, sorry.
When they took you out that day and you went outside and saw the sunlight and the daylight and grass, what went through your head at that point?
I really wouldn't know. Really didn't know the difference between light and night.
Tell me about the moment when you realized you didn't have to go back in that closet.
I was probably happy, or like, I wouldn't say happy, but like maybe thankful for being rescued.
And in the coming time, you went back to your adoptive mother, and in that coming time, how did it feel to have food to eat?
I would eat so much that I would make myself sick.
Yeah.
Because I didn't eat. I would sneak food into my room and put it under, or like hide it somewhere and eat it like in the middle of the night.
So you would hide food away, because you never know when it's going to stop again, right?
Yes.
How did it feel to sleep in a bed?
I didn't sleep in the bed, I slept on the floor. I thought that was safer because that's where I slept. Still do that sometimes. When I get scared, I'll sleep on the floor.
Next, we're going to meet Lauren's adopted mother, who has dedicated her life to helping her daughter. We'll be right back.
Lauren told me that her mom made her eat her own poop. She has scars in her head and cigarette burns on her back. She was scared to death. She didn't trust anybody. She didn't want to be alone.
My mom did try to drown me. I remember passing out, not being able to breathe. Next thing I know, I'm waking up and my mom's standing over me laughing, like I was a wimpy kid or something. I say God was with me that day, or I'd be dead right now.
Well, that was Lauren talking about some of the shocking abuse inflicted upon her by her own mother, who kept her confined in a closet for 6 years. Now, and Lauren, it wasn't just a closet. There were times that you were confined under a house.
Another punishment was under the house. It would be winter and there was snow on the ground. All I had was like a blanket maybe, and I had to go under the house until they wanted me to come back in.
And then sometimes they actually put you in a toy box.
I was kept in a toy box when they wanted to go somewhere. They would put that toy box in the trunk of a car and drive like somewhere, wherever they wanted to go.
And then they would unload the box, and
yes,
and then they would let you out at just for when they wanted to abuse you in some way, and then you're back in the box?
Yes.
Well, after being nursed back to health, Lauren was taken in by another family. Now, here's what her adoptive mother, Sabrina, has to say about Lauren's condition when she was discovered. Take a look.
She first got to the hospital. She dropped down to 22 pounds and they thought that she wasn't going to make it. The doctor said that they had to do surgery in through her esophagus because she had been impacted with pieces of plastic that she had eaten from bowls that they had left whenever they went on vacation. She had eaten wood from the door frame. Lauren told me that her mom made her eat dog poop and her own poop. When Lauren first came home, she was real quiet. She didn't trust anybody. She didn't want to be alone. She was scared to death. Still today, Lauren sleeps on the floor. In the beginning, we would find her in the closet. She would go in there in the kitchen, get food, take it to the closet, eat it, and then throw it all up. She was hoarding food. We would find food up underneath the mattress, underneath the bed, in a lot of different places. Lauren's growth is stunning. Lauren is 4'11". She has scars in her head. She has cigarette burns on her back. Lauren had to have reconstructive surgery on her private parts because whoever sexually abused her tore her all up. She's having seizures and we don't know why. Neurologist has said that it's because her brain is trying to bring back memories and that her body is physically trying to fight the memory because of the trauma. If I was abused like my daughter was, I would hate people. My daughter loves people. That's amazing to me.
So tell me how you feel hearing your mom kind of talk about things.
Well, it makes me sad that someone would have to go through something like that, but it's made me a better person today.
Are you glad you survived?
I'm very grateful for all the help that people have given me.
Lauren, I think you need to know there are a lot of people in your life that are humbled by your courage. You are a strong and courageous woman. How proud of her are you?
She's strong. She's gives 110% with everything she does. I love her to death.
Now, you actually raised her before she went with these monsters.
Yes, for almost 2 years.
So almost at birth, she was with you. How did she come to be back with those people?
Barbara, which was her biological mother, came back about 8 or 9 months later, said she wanted her back. And we fought in court as hard as we could. We showed that she was being abused then. She'd come home with bruises after her visitations and marks on her. And
So you had her up until 2, then you lose custody.
yes, sir.
And so she's with them from 2 to 8, going through this horrific time. And at that point, she was allowed to come back to you.
After she was found, and the hospital had her, and they had to make sure that everything was kosher with us. But yes, eventually, yes.
Right. And you've done a lot of things to try to accommodate. For example, you say you've taken all the doors off the bedrooms, closets, everything in the house, so she never has a sense of confinement, true?
Yes.
And did that help you, having everything open where you never were closed in anywhere?
I think it put me at peace a little bit.
Next, an emotional reunion between Lauren and the people responsible for her closet rescue. The neighbor is here with us today on satellite, and she had not seen you since that day, but she's seen you now, and I want to introduce you. Why don't you tell Lauren who you are and when you first saw her?
I'm a neighbor. If I knew you were there, I would have. The other day I saw you. I regret not grabbing you up right away. I did. To my husband. To go straight to the police afterwards. He looked up at me. And it was. I'll never forget it.
Is there anything you want to say to Jeannie?
Thank you very much for calling the police, because if it wasn't for you, my parents would have killed me.
A man by the name of Gary McLean was the first police officer on the scene that night, and he has not seen you since that day. Please welcome Officer Gary McLean.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Good to meet you, sir. Have a seat right here. Just take my seat. I'll just stand right here. What did you think when you opened that door and saw this child?
When I walked in, she turned and looked at me and smiled. Where she come up with a smile, I have no idea.
Yeah. But she did. Do you have any recollection of him at all?
You're the guy that brought the Mountain Dew, right?
What'd you say?
The guy that brought the Mountain Dew. I named him Mountain Dew Man.
Yeah. Now, she has referred to you over the years as Mountain Dew Man.
Right.
I didn't really know his name, so I named him Mountain Dew Man.
Now, you had actually been at this house days before, right?
The day before, actually, I was there on another CPS referral. And I stood in the doorway inside the house and checked out 3 other kids that belonged to the other parents. Had no idea. I did see in the back room, I was facing the master bedroom, and I could see the TV on and hear a radio on. And it seemed kind of odd to me, but nothing clicked until I got the call the next day.
What did you think when you realized you'd been in that house and that radio was cloaking her existence?
That killed me. I dealt with that a few times.
You arrested the parents.
Yes, I did.
Kenneth and Barbara.
Yes, sir.
What was their attitude?
Ken acted somewhat remorseful. He had red eyes and teary eyes when I first came in, and Barbie, she had no remorse, showed no remorse whatsoever. She asked what was I doing there, and I told her, I think you know what I'm doing here. Turn around, place your hands behind your back.
Next, Lauren's mother, the monster who tortured her own flesh and blood, answers the question everybody in America wants to know. Why did she do this to her own child? We're going to find out what she said when she was asked that question when we come back.
I was the one who arrested both parents. When I placed Barbara into custody, really there was no remorse. There was no crying on her part. It was more of an anger that I think she was caught.
In court, Barbara never said she was sorry for hurting Lauren. Barbara didn't cry. She was emotional a little bit when she talked about her other children, but she wasn't sad. She didn't cry about Lauren. She didn't cry about facing a life sentence.
Well, that was Officer McLean and reporter Jennifer Emily talking about their impressions of Lauren's mother, Barbara Atkinson. Now, Barbara is in prison for life for keeping Lauren locked away in a pitch-black closet infested with lice and caked with feces, where she lay naked and starving for 6 years. Now, Jennifer was the first person to interview Lauren's mother, Barbara, following her arrest, and she's joining us now via Polycom. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
When you talked to her mother, Barbara, what did you learn?
I had hoped to find a reason why someone would do this to their child, but there was no reason. Barbara gave excuses. She said that she was trying to cope with having a miscarriage. She said that Lauren caused problems, that Lauren ate too much, but those weren't reasons, not that there ever could be one.
And she referred to Lauren as it.
When she was speaking about Lauren, he said it caused problems. It had to be in the closet. She spoke about Lauren very matter of fact.
She didn't show any empathy, any caring, any understanding.
She showed no empathy, no caring. She never said she was sorry. I wanted to know what Lauren wants to know now. Why would this happen? There are no reasons, and Barbara couldn't give any.
Do you have any desire to talk to your mother?
I used to, yeah, but now, probably not.
Mm-hmm. They're in prison with life sentences. Does that seem just to you?
No, sir.
What do you think should happen to them?
Death row.
A therapist that you've been working with is Lindsay Jones. You have marveled at her strength and courage, Lindsay, as you've worked with her.
She absolutely has drawn, from her own inner strength and just decided that she was going to move on and that she was going to live and she was going to thrive. And that's coming from initially her saying, "Why am I here?"
And how do you think she's doing overall?
I feel very confident that she will continue to improve because of the improvement over the last 4 years and her determination to do so.
Yeah. This is over. I mean, that's the good news. That time is over. And look, we know when you've been through this, is it ever over? I mean, do you ever forget it? The answer is no, you don't forget it. But you learn to deal with it and you learn to cope with it. What do you want to do with your life? What are your hopes? What are your dreams going forward?
I would love to help people that have been abused. I would like to be a counselor someday and help people. I think I survived because, of course, of people's help, but because God had something better in mind for me.
All right, we'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today, and there's a list. Jennifer from the Dallas Morning News, Officer Gary McLean, thank you so much. And therapist Sandra Mahoney and Lindsay Jones, thank you guys so much for being here. I would especially like to thank Lauren, whose strength and courage to come forward and tell her story is just an inspiration for us all. I'm going to put some warning signs for neglect and abuse, and who you should call if you suspect a child is being abused or neglected on the website at drphil.com. I've said before, I'd rather check out 1,000 situations where nothing was wrong than fail to check out even one where something was wrong. And so please, we need to be vigilant and pay attention to what's going on around us, and hopefully we can save someone from going through what you've gone through. I need to ask you to step back up for just one more minute. See, you thought you were done, but step back up here if you would. First off, now that you've kind of got this behind you, are you glad you came?
Yes, sir.
I want to ask everybody in the audience today, if you think that this young woman has suffered enough, if you think this young woman has earned the right to claim a happy and productive life going forward, stand up and cheer for her right now. Okay? Can I have a hug? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, we'll put you right back in. All right, thank you, everyone.
The following program contains sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on Dr. Phil, the Vanderbilt football player.
You guys tried to cover this up.
Found guilty of rape.
You're taking her clothes off and violating her.
I was drunk out of my mind. I just couldn't believe it was me.
But it was you.
The exclusive prison interview.
You slapped her so hard that it left ugly bruises on her body. What would make you do that?
The shocking video.
I look at what happened to that girl and your conduct on that tape. What the hell were you thinking? Did you take those photos?
I don't recall.
They were on your phone. When you woke up the next morning, what did you remember? All this week, we are featuring our headline-making exclusive interviews from stories that captivated the nation and the world. Corey Beatty was one of 4 Vanderbilt University football players convicted of raping an unconscious female student back in 2015. We interviewed him from behind bars in an effort to shine a light on the severity of college sexual assault after his attorney argued college binge drinking as a defense.
We begin with a high-profile case putting new attention on sexual assaults on college campuses.
On this Saturday night at Vanderbilt Stadium, it was all business as the football team scrimmaged. Nary a word was heard here about the rape case.
Corey Beatty and Brandon Vanderberg were indicted by a grand jury last Friday for raping a 21-year-old unconscious female inside Vandenberg's dorm room.
Beatty's bond is currently set at $350,000.
So the victim was on a date with Vandenberg before the rape occurred.
He basically sliced her up and served her on a silver platter to a bunch of his friends to rape.
Surveillance video showed Vandenberg carrying the woman to his dorm, accompanied by his teammates.
He gets in an elevator and goes up to the second floor. Mr. Vandenberg carries her out of the elevator, through the surveillance-covered hallway, and into room 213. When they enter room 213, there is no longer surveillance coverage, but cell phones come out.
Eventually, they pick her back up again after they're done taking these pictures and drag her over to Vandenberg's dorm room.
Within 2 minutes of entering the room, this unconscious woman is dumped on the floor and she starts to be sexually violated.
According to prosecutors, Vandenberg took pictures and video of the assault and shared it with friends.
You've seen yourself in these videos, Mr. Beatty?
I have.
Can you explain your actions?
I was just drunk out of my mind. This is something I would never do in my right state of mind.
Their defense at trial, he was too drunk to remember what happened, but he wasn't too drunk to send the pictures to his friends.
Her panties are pulled down below her waist. She's motionless.
They her with their bodies and with a water bottle. They took close-up photos of her intimate body parts and videoed it and laughed.
Who was it that were on their knees there in a position over the young lady?
Corey Beatty.
Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty watched as the student they are accused of raping took the stand.
After tasting the blue drink, what's the next thing that you remember?
I remember waking up in an unfamiliar room at 8-something the next morning, and I also was in pain in certain parts of my body.
Did you consent to any of the acts that were done to you?
Absolutely not.
The jury in the Vandenberg and Beatty trial has reached a verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant Corey Lamont Beatty guilty of aggravated rape. Count 2, guilty of aggravated rape. Mr. Vandenberg, count 1, guilty of aggravated rape.
As it was read, you could hear gasps in the courtroom.
You don't get to abuse somebody, make fun of them, laugh about it, while the rape's taking place.
Some of the counts carry up to 25 years in prison. Sentencing is set for early March.
Inside the Criminal Justice Center in Nashville, Tennessee, sit former teammates Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty, two men at the center of one of the biggest headline-making trials of the year. Corey Beatty testified that on the night of the attack, he consumed so much alcohol that he has no memory of committing a crime. But the jurors were shown damning video and graphic images of Corey violating the victim. Today, in an exclusive interview, Corey Beatty breaks his silence about his part in the incident that shocked the nation. You have just been convicted of these charges that we've all been following, and I want to be clear, we approached you about this interview, correct?
That's correct.
We did that because we really want to know what you were thinking.
Yes.
In this. Take me back to the moment when you heard that verdict read in court. Did you expect that to happen?
Well, I was just prepared for anything. I mean, I've never been in a situation like that before, so it was kind of shocking. I guess it kind of felt surreal. This is my first time ever being in contact with any type of law enforcement regarding this. I guess the moment when it set in is when I looked to the right and I saw my family crying, and then that's when it got real for me.
Corey, I ask you this first, not as Dr. Phil, but as a father.
Yes, sir.
I look at the events of that night and what happened to that girl, and I look at your conduct on that tape. I have to ask you, what the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking?
I mean, I was drunk out of my mind, so I don't think I was thinking. And I mean, that's just not a clear representation of who I am. As they were showing that stuff, as trial went on, I just couldn't believe it was me. It was hard to put myself in that person's shoes. And I mean, I can't express how sorry I am for my actions.
But it was you, and you said you were drunk out of your mind. What do you mean by drunk out of your mind? When you woke up the next morning, did you remember what took place?
No, sir, I did not.
You had no recall whatsoever?
No recall.
Because when we look at you on tape, you look to be functioning. You're walking, you're talking, you're laughing. I mean, she looks blackout drunk. She looks unconscious. She looks completely helpless. You're up, talking, moving, emoting. You're doing all of that.
You know, I think a lot of people can get drunk and not remember and still, you know, function. But like I said, I don't recall anything from that night. When I saw those things in court, it just looked so unfamiliar to me.
Take me through the first time you saw yourself doing that.
I couldn't believe myself. How could I let myself get to that point and let myself act out that way, you know, because my whole life I feel like I've always been a caring individual to look out for the helpless or the less fortunate. I mean, although I come from less fortunate, you know, I've always had a heart to help. And, you know, that night, that just wasn't my heart. That just wasn't me.
What was the first tape you saw? You sit down with your lawyer and he says, okay, here's what they have. What was the first thing you saw?
You know, honestly, I don't recall the first thing I saw, but they wanted me to see the footage and I denied. So when they showed it to me, it was just kind of like a quick glimpse and I was like, okay, just like I done it.
Did you consent to any of the acts that were done to you?
Absolutely not.
Did you consent to any photographs or videos being taken of you?
Absolutely not.
What did you say to yourself when you saw it?
I was just disappointed because I know my mother hadn't raised me that way. And I mean, there's no other words for that type of behavior, but, you know, disappointment, you know, the high school community I come from, I just knew that just wasn't the behavior everybody expected out of me. I wanted to kind of distance myself from that event as much as possible, and not seeing that footage allowed myself to distance myself from it.
That night, when this young woman is brought back to the dorm, you go out front, correct?
From the footage, yes, sir, that's correct.
What do you mean from the footage?
From what I see on the footage, but like I said, I don't recall going out.
But you don't doubt that you did. You saw it on the footage. Are you still trying to distance yourself from it?
No, sir. I mean, that's me on the footage, clear as day. But you know, I just don't like to think of myself in that light. Still to this day, I don't like to think that I'm that person.
Was there ever one voice or anybody in the hall that said, hey, guys, come on, this is a human being, this is wrong? Not one voice, not one person said, come on, this is not okay?
I mean, I don't recall what anybody said, but I mean, from the footage, it didn't look like anybody was trying to intervene and stop.
Listen, I've been doing this for like 35 years. I've worked with a lot of drunks, and I know that they black out for a period of time and then bits and pieces start coming back. And when they are triggered by certain stimuli, like pictures or people describing it, certainly video, then it starts to fill in the pieces.
Honestly, I don't recall. It just looks foreign. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, I don't recall any other events.
That's about the 15th time you've said, I don't recall. And you're saying that none of these pieces have filled in for you? That you're just like, I have no recall, no recollection of this whatsoever?
Coming up.
You slapped her so hard that it left ugly bruises on her body. What inside you would make you do that?
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive, the Vanderbilt football players interview from behind bars.
Brandon Banks, Corey Beatty, Jaborian Tip McKenzie, and Brandon Vandenberg were all indicted by a grand jury last Friday for raping a 21-year-old unconscious female inside Vandenberg's dorm room.
Defendant Corey Beatty took the stand in his own defense.
You just say you have no memory of anything.
I don't recall anything.
You really expect people to begin and end with, I don't recall? I just don't recall. Sorry, don't recall, don't recall, don't recall, don't recall, don't recall.
I mean, I could make something up.
No, I don't want you to make something up.
Oh,
I don't want you to make I don't recall up either.
Yes, sir. I'm not.
Attorney Warwick Robinson represents Corey Beatty. He told the jury that while Corey's actions were unthinkable, his client was so inebriated that night that he, quote, blacked out, unquote, and has no recollection of what occurred. Do you believe he has total amnesia?
I do.
Of this whole thing?
I do.
Is I don't recall the right approach For him?
It's the only approach because it's the truth. The truth is the best path. And that's why we put him on the stand. But he can't fill in blanks that he doesn't know.
Well, see if you recall this. When they played these horrific videos in trial, you recall how you felt then?
Embarrassed. I mean, I don't want anybody to ever see me in that light.
Did you look at your mother?
I could not look at her. Because I knew that's not who she raised. And I disappointed her more than anything.
What does she say to her boy about that?
And she tells me, yeah, it was a mistake, it was wrong, but, you know, we'll be okay, eventually.
Corey, you were one of 13.
Yes, sir.
Right? You lost your father to cancer very early on. How old were you?
I was 9.
So you grew up through so much of your life without your dad.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
You just would be so disappointed. And that's what hurts, you know, deep down, because I know I let him down.
What did he want for you?
He had been coaching me my whole life. He was so strict on me. And then when he died, it's just like, I don't know. I just felt like I was on my own. High school, you know, everybody had their dads. You know, come to the football games. And I was a good player, you know. And I just never had that person rooting in the crowd for me. You know?
What would he have said if he had been in that courtroom and seen those videos, seen those pictures?
I would like to think I wouldn't be in this position if he was alive, honestly. I just think a man needs his father at a certain point in life to mold him and discipline. And I think I missed out on that. And I kind of had to choose my own direction, you know.
Because he wasn't there, do you not know right from wrong?
No, I know right from wrong.
Are you angry inside?
From the death of my father?
Are you angry about anything? I mean, I've always said rape's not about sex, it's about power, it's about anger, it's about violence. What you did that night was violent. Where does that come from?
Oh, I don't think I was angry. I think that was probably one of the happiest times in my life. I was playing college football. I was at a great university, getting a great education. So I wasn't angry.
You slapped her so hard that it left ugly bruises on her body.
Like I said, I don't remember that happening.
What inside you would make you do that?
I don't know. To this day,
alcohol washes away inhibitions. Why did those behaviors come bubbling out?
I have no idea.
Did you know Vandenberg?
No, sir.
You didn't know him before this night?
I knew of him, but I didn't know what his character was like.
How did he know that I can go find some defenseless young woman that's completely unconscious, bring her back to the dorm, and expect to get with some guys, strip her down, and violate her? How did he know that was going to be acceptable and okay?
I don't know where he learned that from.
He was right. How did he know that?
I don't know. Like he ran with a different group of people than I ran with. I don't know what they do, but man, my group of friends, that was not what we did.
Well, apparently it is what you did. That's what you did that night. We know, based on video evidence, within 2 minutes, you're taking her clothes off and violating her. How did you didn't even know him?
I didn't know him. But as far as his character, I had no idea.
What do you think of his character now?
I think he's a good kid, honestly. I think he just got caught up in some unfortunate circumstances.
So you'd hang with him if this all went away?
I wouldn't kick him to the curb. No, I would still call him, hey, how you doing? Stuff like that.
Why do you suppose he went out and got this girl and brought her back to this dorm full of boys?
I don't know what he was thinking. I had no idea.
This good kid, why do you think he brought her back there? You think that shows good character? If he hadn't brought her back there, would you be here?
Coming up, the cover-up.
You guys tried to cover this up after the fact. There's no question about that, right? We need to keep our mouth shut and hope this thing doesn't blow up.
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive, the Vanderbilt football players interview from behind bars.
Two former Vanderbilt University football players are trading the gridiron for iron bars. They were found guilty of rape and assault in connection with an on-campus attack in 2013.
When did it dawn on you that something really bad had happened?
When I got the phone call the next morning, and I talked with one of the co-defendants, Mr. McKenzie.
What was your reaction?
But he was like, last night was crazy. Check your phone. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I looked through my phone and I saw some images of an unidentified woman. I didn't know what happened to her. And immediately, something just clicked inside of me, and I was like, what happened? I was on the way to church, and I was just asking myself, like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And then rumors and stuff started spreading. I didn't know what had happened.
You see these images on your phone.
Yes, sir.
That didn't bring back any memory.
No, sir.
And what'd you do with those images?
I deleted them immediately. Immediately.
Get the hell rid of these.
Yes, sir.
You were ashamed of those. You wanted those gone.
Absolutely.
Did you take those photos?
I don't recall. Like I said, I don't recall taking the photos. I didn't know how they got there.
They were on your phone, though. You just don't remember whether you snapped them or somebody snapped them with your phone.
Yes, sir.
Did you know who it was?
I did not. I didn't know what had happened to her.
Did you recognize the setting? Could you tell these happened in the dorm, or?
I knew the place looked familiar, but I didn't know who the woman was in the phone. I didn't recall anything. And I immediately deleted them.
Then you guys have a meeting that's been referred to as the Popeyes. 5 of you meet at Popeyes. And what was that meeting about?
At that time, the rumors had started spreading. And Chris Boyd, he was kind of like my big brother mentor type. And he was just kind of reassuring everybody that, just calm down, just calm down. It'll be all right.
And y'all all decided we need to not be talking about this, need to get rid of all the images.
Yes, sir. It just wasn't. Yes, sir. Sorry.
It's just what's been referred to as a cover-up meeting.
I would call it a scared meeting. I mean, everybody was just frantic, like, what happened? What do we do? Like, everybody was just kind of, like I said, frantic.
Clearly, you guys are young guys do stupid stuff. You guys tried to cover this up after the fact. There's no question about that, right?
Yes, sir.
You tried to bury, you tried to get rid of all evidence and hope this didn't come to light.
Yes, sir.
You guys were scared, you were panicked, you were saying, look, everybody needs to keep their mouth shut, get rid of all these images, get rid of all these videos. We need to keep our mouth shut and hope this thing doesn't blow up on us.
It's true.
When you first talked to the police, you lied to them.
I did.
Who did you make the statement, they say I raped some bitch? Who did you make that statement to?
I don't recall who that was. Maybe a text message to my girlfriend at the time, maybe.
It's an interesting choice of words, some bitch. Because you're saying, that's not me. I'm watching myself on tape, that's not me, that's out of character, that is not me, I was not raised that way, my mother didn't raise me that way.
Yes, sir.
Not some girl, they're saying I raped some bitch.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
I just think at that point, I felt everything that I had worked for started to crumble, and that was kind of the anger inside of me. I didn't know who the young lady was. Very poor choice of words, obviously, but I felt everything I had worked for crumbling, and I knew how, if it got out to my family, how disappointed they would be. And I think that word and that text message was just kind of like for a resemblance of all the anger. It wasn't towards the young lady.
When you're in court
Yes.
and they're playing those videos and that young woman is there watching those videos, watching you put your buttocks in her face, watching you do the things you did you look at her?
Coming up.
Had you not been drunk that night and walked into that room, what might you have done?
I would have told them, y'all back off. Coach Franklin is going to kick all of y'all off the team.
Your concern would have been getting kicked off the team. Your concern wouldn't have been for her.
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive.
It has happened again. College athletes accused of raping a fellow student. This time, it's 4 football players from Vanderbilt University. This woman, the victim's roommate, gave harrowing testimony.
My immediate reaction was, whoa, like what happened to you? Her makeup was completely disheveled. We really thought she had possibly like jumped in a pool or something crazy. She felt very, very ill, and she was mentally very out of it.
When you're in court
Yes.
and they're playing those videos and that young woman is there, did you look at her?
No, sir. I couldn't. I could barely look at the images. I wish she could really know the type of person I am. I hate that she had to see me in that light and think I'm that person, because I'm not. I'm really not.
Was she some bitch then? When you were in court and she's watching these things you did to defile her, was she just some bitch then?
No, sir.
Was she a human being then? Was she a victim then?
She was. When I saw that stuff, I was just praying. I was just saying, Lord, just put it in her heart to forgive me, because that's not me. It's just not me.
Had you not been drunk that night and walked into that room, what might you have done?
If I had not been drunk and I walked in that room, I would have said, what are y'all thinking right now?
Would you have helped her?
Yeah, I would have helped her. I would have told them, y'all back off. This is just not right. Coach Franklin is going to kick all of y'all out off the team.
Your concern would have been getting kicked off the team. Your concern wouldn't have been for her. Would you have protected her?
I think I would have. I think I would have went to go get someone.
When you woke up the next morning, what did you remember?
The last thing I remember is I was in the restroom in East Hall. I was using the bathroom, and I remember looking up and telling myself, man, I'm really drunk. And that was before I went out to the parking lot.
What was the culture for Corey Beatty? Culture encouraged underage drinking. You get drunk, you have sex. It's not important if you remember it. It actually seems to be funnier or more lighthearted or laughable if you don't remember it.
You talked about culture in your closing argument.
Yes.
You said you got caught up in a party culture.
Yes.
If there was a culture where older team members were role models and said, we don't have alcohol-fueled parties in this program, would this have happened?
It would not have happened, I don't think. I think younger kids come into athletic programs looking at the older kids and how they act, how they conduct themselves. The older kids set the norm.
How did Vandenberg know that he could bring an unconscious girl back to that dorm with an expectation that it would be okay, that what happened happened? How does he know that that fits in this culture?
I think this was just a situation where the planets and stars lined up. It was a perfect storm in the worst way. I've said before, if Mr. Vandenberg, they went back to her apartment, and I think the testimony was couldn't find her key to get in the apartment. If they had located that key, they never would have gone back to the dorm. Mr. Banks and Mr. McKenzie went to get some food at a local restaurant. If the line at that restaurant had been 5 minutes longer or 5 minutes shorter, Vandenberg would have never passed in the night with Mackenzie and Banks. Never would have happened.
I'm really interested in what you did when you do recall. You said that there's more to you than what happened that night. And so what I'm trying to look at is what your behavior is like, there's like drunk Corey.
Yes, sir.
We know what drunk Corey did because that's on video and pictures. So I'm trying to see what sober Corey did because that tells us more about who you are. Afterwards, you sent text, video gone, ? Right? That was a text you sent.
Yes, sir. If that was on the record, that's.
And then you sent one that said video deleted, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're checking to make sure this stuff's been dumped.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At this point, you knew this was bad stuff. You knew you had to clean this up. Were you afraid of it criminally, or were you afraid of it just embarrassment-wise?
Both. Both. I didn't know what was on it. I was just afraid and scared. I didn't know.
You hadn't seen it?
I hadn't seen it.
Nobody showed it to you at Popeyes or anywhere? Nobody, you didn't know what the videos were?
I had no idea.
Coming up.
I don't know Brandon Vandenberg. I heard him on videotape laughing and egging people on. Really? This is your friend. You would be with this person again. I don't get it.
The Vanderbilt football player's interview from behind bars continues.
We, the jury, find the defendant Corey Lamont Beatty guilty of aggravated rape.
What is just for Corey? What do you hope the court comes back with?
My hope would be that it's with aggravated rape, it's a minimum of 15 years. This was not a situation where you had individuals that were lurking behind the dumpster, looking to prey on a young woman and grabbed her and dragged her off. I don't think that there was any plan in anyone's mind that this was an intention to do this act. I think it happened in the perfect storm. These 4 kids are not bad kids. Prison is generally to correct behavior, to change behavior. I think that can be done with a sentence that does not ruin these 4 kids so that they become more of a liability walking out.
You're facing 145 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
In Tennessee, the tendency for this kind of crime is to do 100% of the sentence,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to like good time.
Yes, sir.
If that happens, that would mean you're going to die in prison.
Yes, sir.
That you'll never take another free breath in your entire life.
Yes, sir.
Should that happen?
I don't think so.
If not, why not?
Because that's not a clear representation of who I am.
So you think you shouldn't do the full time here?
I don't think I should.
For example, I ask you, we're talking here about, I've not met Brandon Vandenberg. I don't know him. I haven't met him.
Yes, sir.
But I saw a young man pull up in a car and get an unconscious woman out of the car and carry her into what turned out to be a savage, brutal rape scene. I heard him on videotape laughing and playing porn in the background and egging people on and going on and on. And I ask you, how do you feel about that? I'd hang with him. Really? This is who you would choose. This is your friend. You would be with this person again. This person that brought this girl into this dorm, you're in this situation and you're saying, yeah, my judgment is, okay. Help me with that. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think everyone deserves to be forgiven and to be given a second chance. I don't think there was a clear representation of him. I know that's not a clear representation of me, but I do think people deserve a second chance, and I do think people should be forgiven. if they've learned from their mistakes.
Man, I'm all over forgiveness, but I'm looking for some insight here. I'm looking for...
I think now, having gone through this situation, I don't think I could get peer pressured into anything like that ever again.
But you were drunk and you don't recall what you did.
Yeah, but I don't think alcohol will be a part of my life anymore.
Are you afraid of prison?
Am I afraid of? Yeah.
Are you afraid that you're going to be labeled and that they are going to do to you what you did to her?
You know, I think I can let the real Corey shine wherever, and I think people will feel that, you know, that wasn't a clear representation of him. And I think people will be apt to forgive me, but I know when people go into those places with these type of charges, you know, they do get harassed. Hopefully I can make it.
Coming up.
Corey, did you fail your mother here?
Not embarrassed.
This is on you, not her.
She did her job. I failed her.
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive, the Vanderbilt football players interview from behind bars.
I remember waking up in an unfamiliar room at 8-something the next morning. I felt very out of it. I didn't feel like myself. I felt very confused. I started to develop a really bad headache, and I also was in pain in certain parts of my body. I was embarrassed.
Is there anything you want to say to the victim in this crime? Is there anything you want to say to that girl that was so defiled, debased, and humiliated by you and the others?
I would tell her that I'm terribly sorry. And hopefully one day I can meet and explain to her that that's not me, and that she can really get a feel for who I am, the real Corey Beatty. And I wish I could take it all back. I wish there was a button that I could just delete everything, but unfortunately it's not. And I'm sorry she's had to go through this, her and her family. I'm sorry they had to see her like that. I know she's a smart young lady. She went to Vanderbilt, graduated. I think she's in med school, so I just really hate it. And I hope her family forgives me. I hope she forgives me. I pray for her every day, pray for her family every day. And I just hope they can find it in their heart to just forgive me, because that's not who I am.
Are you sorry you did those things to her?
Oh.
I mean, are you?
Yes, very, very.
You don't defend this behavior?
I don't.
You don't excuse it?
I don't. It's inexcusable.
Coming up.
Where's your mother work?
At Vanderbilt.
How proud was she the day you put that helmet on her?
She was proud.
And how did your mother feel the day you were arrested?
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive, the Vanderbilt football players interview from behind bars.
Corey, did you fail your mother here?
I did.
Did you let her down?
I did.
Did you break her heart?
I did.
Where's your mother work?
At Vanderbilt.
How long has she worked there?
About 37 years.
How proud was she when you got a scholarship to play football there?
That's where she wanted me to go.
So she spent her life there, working there, and then...
Not embarrassed.
Here comes her baby boy, and he gets a scholarship to play football there.
Yep.
How proud was she the day you put that helmet on and walked out there?
She was proud.
And how did she feel the day you were arrested?
I'm sure she was heartbroken.
Will you ever sit in her kitchen again?
I pray. I pray and hope.
This is on you, not her.
She did her job. I failed her.
If you ever get out of prison, do you think it's too late to make her proud?
No, I hope not. I pray I hope not.
What happened here at Vanderbilt University is sadly not an isolated incident. In fact, it's happening all over the country. By bravely testifying and facing her attackers, the victim of this unthinkable crime has set a strong example. We all must stand up against these crimes against women. We need to talk to our children. In trial, it was exposed that there were half a dozen other people who knew about this crime, yet no one did anything to stop it or report it to the police. We need to make sure this doesn't continue to happen to other women. These are our daughters, our sisters, and our friends. This is a lesson to everyone out there. Sexual violence is not a joke. It is not a game. Alcohol consumption is not an excuse. Rape is a violent crime, and you will be punished. Corey Beatty will be sentenced in March and is facing up to 145 years behind bars for his crime. I want to thank everyone at the Criminal Justice Center in Nashville, Tennessee for their professionalism and for allowing us access to their facility. I also want to thank our affiliate WKRN in Nashville, Tennessee for their contribution to the production of our show. While the state jury convicted Vandenberg and Beatty, the judge ordered a new trial after it came to light that the jury's foreman didn't disclose that he was a victim of sexual assault. Corey was found guilty in the second trial and sentenced to 15 years in prison. The judge said his true punishment was a life sentence because even after his release, he will spend a lifetime on the sex offender registry. Brandon Vandenberg received a 17-year prison sentence. If you want to keep up with all things Dr. Phil, then scan the flow code on the screen. This will link you to exclusive content. Plus, you can follow and subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. And check out Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you. We'll see you next time.